Testing. 2-2. Can y'all hear me? Good. OCO, everyone. Yeah, we about to get started. See you. I'm trying to send out some notifications real quick, guys. But OCO, everyone. What's up, Bryan, Texas, Chesapeake, Virginia, Michigan, Long Beach, California, Chicago in the building. What up, Levante? Charleston, South Carolina, Atlanta, Houston, Texas, St. Louis. How y'all doing? What up, Brooklyn? Roll Tide, what's going on? Columbus, Ohio. Philly in the building. Mississippi. It's giving me errors on my side. Is everything okay? It's not skipping or nothing for y'all over there? Are we good? A little bit? Okay. Again, YouTube is telling me that my resolution too high, which is weird. Okay, yeah. Okay. It's still popping up saying the same thing, but you know, if I do need to cut it off and cut it back, I don't think I should have to. I think I should be good to go. Because I'm not losing any frames. I should be good. Maybe that's the cable acting up. But sound and resolution is fine. All right, good. OCO. OG Wavy. What up, Choctaw, Montana? Queen 68. What's going on? More of their games? Let's hope not. The Bomb Mom, I see you. What's going on, sis? Yeah, the internet moving a little slow too, so something must be up. Hold up. Brother Coleman, how you doing, brother? Can't wait till we link. Man, that's gonna be... Can't wait till it happens. I've been playing around with my camera too, getting everything together. I didn't even know today was Monday. I be working so much, I ain't even look at the day. Love that title? Yeah, we getting into it. Clear skies in Cleveland. What's going on, Cleveland? What's going on? Greenville, South Carolina. Diane Billups. How you? King Third, what's going on? OCO, brother. Unc in the building. What's going on, Unc? Memphis Teen. What up, Memphis? Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to switch these screens here in a second. It's 2 a.m. in Germany. 2 a.m. I'll be up during them hours, man. I'll be up during those hours. It's working hours for me. Jamaica in the building. What's going on, Jamaica? What's going on, Tampa, Florida? Atlanta, Georgia. Hold on, let me switch these screens before I miss this thing.
OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
Big brother, he is raising some serious questions.
He's here to make you think.
What I'm trying to do is get our people to understand that we have been lied to all the way around about our history. Can you name any other group of people, no matter their skin complexion, that are being labeled primarily as the name of two continents? Not two countries, two continents. That is called a misnomer, which is the act of applying a wrong name to some person or thing.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes.
I want y'all to check out somebody named Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway?
Look into Dane Calloway. He has a lot of information about how this whole shit was told in reverse. Okay, where they say, oh, we came from Africa over here. No, a lot of us was already here.
And information that was put together by a man by the name of Dane Calloway, who is also questioning the slave trade. And he's done some remarkable videos on the history of the slave trade in the United States. And he's gone back down the food chain and gone back down the line, and he's realized that a lot of the so-called African Americans in the United States are not African at all. They're actually Native Americans, because the slave trade did not happen the way we were told that it happened.
It's Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway,
Go and watch this man's channel, man. This dude is phenomenal, and he don't get the accolade and his flowers right now. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude gives some powerful information, some common sense. Go dig deep and research. Maybe even have to spend a couple dollars on research if you truth seeking. Not fact checking, truth seeking. Because there's a difference.
It's Dane Calloway on I'm Just Here to Make You Think Radio.
Turn it up. Look, 100 years after 100 years, they done lied to us about this and that. Told us all we from Africa. I made fiction characters turn into facts. Heard you tell me then it was not. Knowing goddamn well that trick was capped. My wife and I wrote a book about it. It's a book with knowledge, evidence, and fact. And my other book got them haters shook, cause it's helping my people take a closer look at their backgrounds in the background, showing my people where they supposed to look. Showing my people where they get it from, where they hit it from, all sorts of angles. When it comes to this research, you must please first. Don't trust strangers. Find out all of your own. That's what I highly recommend and suggest. And if you're looking for answers and content about me, I highly recommend you the best. Which is my website at the link you see just across the screen. Don't let it miss you. I make it simple. I double down on that black and white. It's so official.
100 years after 100 years. All right. So, I'll see you, everyone. Glad you can make it. I want to go over a few things. Now, I went over some of this stuff already, but there's nothing wrong with brushing up on it again. It was brought to my attention that a lot of people need a reminder, and that's good. Now, of course, to the title, it's will we talk lies about history? The answer is simply yes. But what? All of it? Half of it? Some of it? 1/3 of it? 2/3 of it? I'm gonna get into it. And I like to touch on the main things that we were taught in school, because that's what I'm combating. My main objective is to tell the truth about what happened to our people here in the Americas. Now, certain people can relate in Central and South America because of the similarities of colonization. But our story is unique because of what took place, who did it, why it was done, okay, and why it's still being promoted as if it's ongoing right now. Like, you may see people, for example, right now bringing up the conversation again about reparations. Notice I said conversation. Okay, everybody want to talk about we got to get reparations, but it's not them having to do something. It will be the government having to do something. Now, I told people that there's a lot of talking going on amongst our own people. They're gathering up, having meetings about but this has been happening for years, and nothing has changed. That's not knocking the people, but how long are we going to talk about it? We know what is owed to us. Number one is the land. You shouldn't even be thinking about money right now. The land is owed to us. But it's, once again, I believe people are not picking up on when they bring these conversations back up concerning reparations. And it's only when it's convenient or politically convenient, let me say it that way, for certain people. It's only politically convenient for those particular people. Reparations is not going to solve a thing about what's going on with us systematically. Now, would I knock us receiving reparations? Hell no. But will we ever get that? Think about it. As long as we've been, okay, the president handed billions of dollars to Ukraine. Did we owe Ukraine anything? No. No. Bailing these people out. But see, that's what this government is about. Helping foreigners. I've been saying this. I proved this more ways than one. These people ain't got nothing to do with us, but yet you want the government to constantly look at you. And then I tell you why they not looking at you. Everybody is trying to latch on to what we should be called because our identity was stolen. More than just our identity, it was land, culture, language. But let me just stick with this. Our identity was stolen. So now somebody else is in our place laying claim to things that we should have right now. That was my whole point in bringing that information to you. It wasn't just me talking on screen. I was putting it on screen. I don't sit back and not show you. I put in this work in order for people to understand where I'm coming from. It's not about having meetings and talking about reparations. I mean, that's what HR 40 was about anyway. Studying reparation. We don't need that anymore. What's the next step now? Oh, were we gonna talk about it some more? No. No, the next step is to do it on our own. That's what I've been saying. Watch, mark my word, y'all. Watch how this is going to change. I'm not sure how soon this is going to happen. I'm going to make a mark. I know I'm going to do something to enforce that for our people to take the very next step, which is to eliminate the thinking that we have to, or the belief that we have to depend on this government for something. But what are you looking for exactly? What are you looking for? You want the same treatment that they treat other foreign, but you're not going to get it. You're not. What do you think they're going to do? Change their mind 10, 20 years later from today? So that's how long you're willing to wait? We can make changes on our own right now. Without reparations, we could create our own reparations, restitution, reconstruction. We don't have to depend on anybody to get that done. But the problem, our people are not mentally aware that we are capable of doing that on our own. A lot of the, and this is not all of you guys, okay? So do not take this any other way than what I'm about to state. There are many people who are over the ages of 40, 50, 60, maybe even 70s, and they strongly believe in the old ways and they want to hold on to it. They're taking what they learned in the 60s and the 70s and think that that can work right now. For example, marching. What do you, listen, y'all, What are you marching for? What is that going to solve? What is that going to prove? What is that going to do when it comes to change for our benefit? Not a thing. And they know this though. But what are they doing? They just want to hurry up, make a scene so they can be seen by the media. You're clout chasing because the government is not looking at you. It's the news, social media. You want to take pictures with your buddy. Hey, y'all, we was down here. We were marching. That's it. That's all you're going to get out of that. And see, these are the type of conversations we should be having. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm not going to tell you how it might be. And of course, actually, guys, I got a few videos, so I'm not going to take too long on, my opening dialogue, because I got a few videos I want to play to remind you that this ain't no joke. It's not a game. I'm not about to be, I don't want to use that terminology, what I was about to say right there. I'm not about to be playing around with people. And I haven't been. I'm not going to lower my standards when the standards should be sky high. We are a high value. How do we know that, Dane? Well, think about it. Who's the #1 consumer in America? Consumer. We much rather buy the product and the service when we should be providing the product and the service. We should be up top. It's not a game. And then I'm looking at people and listening to them, and certain people want to call these people leaders, and I don't see one leader. Not one. Not one. See, invite me to those type of little meetings that you want to have, because I'm going to call each and every one of y'all out. Because what exactly are you doing but just talking and regurgitating the same crap that we done heard in the 50s and the 60s? That's not getting us anywhere. What Dane Calloway is here to do is to provide the information that you need so we can move forward. And it's not the regurgitated information neither. It's the stuff that hasn't been looked at, that hasn't been seen, that's not commonly known. I'm not trying to say I'm, all of the information is hidden. And no, it's not all hidden, but you're just not taking a look at it. I told, for example, I'm probably the only one on YouTube and everywhere else that told people who owe us reparations. I'm talking about from A to Z. I told you who. I told you why. I told you when. I'm not making it. Let me drop a bomb. I'm not making this up. I reposted those videos 3 times to embed it in your head. You know what? Not one person that's going to these little meetings, doing these little marches, having these little debates, brought any of these people up. They didn't want to bring these people up, these organizations and these corporations, these companies. Yes, insurance companies, banks. I told you who it was. I told you I gave you everything you need. So don't be like, well, Dane, why don't you do it? I can't do that part on my own. I gathered the information, but it's going to have to take more than one person to get things done. But ain't nobody talking like that. All of a sudden, now you want to talk about reparations. All of a sudden, again, right around the time when you need people to vote for you or to gravitate towards you when the voting time comes. Look how convenient that is for you. To me, what you're doing is all a gimmick. It's not real. You're showboating. Farrakhan called one of them fools out too. I hope that ain't breaking news to certain people. But at the same time, it's a lot of people that are just in it for the money and providing you with false hopes. And certain people will raise them up as false heroes just for talking. Martin Luther King got something done behind his talking. There hasn't been another person since. Not one. And I love Malcolm X to death, but Malcolm X didn't do anything where rules changed. Martin Luther King was the only person that did something where rules changed. And then he realized that the government was against us when he wanted the rules to change for, or in a different direction. And the government said, all right, we'll take your idea and run with it, but do it our way. Martin Luther King was the only person. There was no, oh, okay, I mean, unless you want to give it to Rosa Parks for making some rules change. But as far as law, that's it. Right? After Martin Luther King, who else is it? I love Fred Hampton, but he wasn't here long enough to make rules change. I'm talking about somebody that was out there. Like as I said, I love Malcolm X, but they were working hard. Yeah, they were able to craft our people's minds into thinking, into knowing that we should be established in more ways than just nationality. We should have our own setup from top to bottom. Remember, Malcolm X said,
anytime you have to rely upon your enemy, you're in bad shape.
He didn't want you to rely on your enemy. Anytime you have to rely upon your enemy, you're in bad shape. And yes, I agree. Rosa Parks was staged as well. Long story, but we're not even going to change the subject. That will be changing the subject. I could get into that, but that was another precedent. Just like how I pointed out. Okay, never mind. See, you about to make me change the subject. But anyway, I'll get into that at a later date when the time is right. Martin Luther King was involved in that as well, by the way. So I'm not trying to say all these people, you know, anyway. But what came out of all of that, the civil rights movement, that wasn't just all Martin Luther King, by the way, but the government did make some changes. This is the reason why we are where we are right now. Martin Luther King wasn't asking for reparations. Martin Luther King was coming to get the check that was owed to our people because of the land grants not reparations, land grants that was switched around, and the government strictly assisted the incoming foreigners damn near for free. That wasn't about no check. Just because we think we owed a check, that was about a check because of the Homestead Acts, which referred to the original people that should have been given our lands. And we even taught them how to farm. That came out of, I mean, y'all know I went over this multiple times. These foreigners wouldn't be surviving today if it wasn't for us. right now. But yet another video of mine, and I forgot the name of it, but it was recently. Not only just Ukraine, I see somebody said Ukraine, not only just Ukraine. I broke down every country in different continents that the government still hands millions of dollars. So if we're not getting it, right, millions of dollars from this government, and everybody else is getting assistance, and we ain't even do nothing to them, to the point where we, like, you would think that we owe them. No, what they paying off is people that recognize this country as a nation, that recognize this country as a corporation. They're paying the people off, thank you for supporting me type thing. That's what they're doing. And I showed you that as well. They got to pay those people back annually. Come on, y'all. This is not a game. We don't have to. Once again, we don't got to sugarcoat nothing. That's the way it is. So, but what if we establish our own corporations, in which we can? I went over this the last live stream. We establish our own corporations and we could have these same countries of different continents recognize us as a nation. Then what? Huh?
Set it on fire.
They wouldn't be able to touch us. We wouldn't lose.
I will not lose ever.
They wouldn't be able to touch us. The reason why, and see, this is the object. This is the reason why I keep going back to that. That is the main objective. That's the main goal. Now, I remember certain people, and this is the reason why I'm about to get into this video, because certain people were, we were talking about this before, but the government placed agents in place to take our mind away from that, to keep us disenfranchised in more ways than just one. More ways than just being civilly disenfranchised, but also mentally and physically. And they made sure that we were indoctrinated with their doctrine, their beliefs, their ideologies, to keep us blind. And yet we still want something from them? You talking about you wanting something from your enemy. And it's not like your enemy is on their deathbed yet. But, hold on. It's coming. It's coming. I know, look, I swear, I can't wait to be the judge to kick these foreigners out. I swear I'm gonna hit my gravel 3 times.
No, get out of my, no, get out of my, no, get out of my sight, you fuck.
That's what I'm gonna say. Bye-bye. I can't wait. That's coming. But for the time being, our people have to become educated on what has happened. The government placed in agents to distract us. This video, hold on, I'm going to get into that in another video. This video here. 1 second, let me make sure I recognize which. Okay, this is okay. Oh. All right, I recognize this video. All right, so let me play this video now.
Now, I'm going to mention a name that, remember back in the biblical days, they said about Moses, do not speak his name, cross his name off every wall. Now, this brother has been making a lot of noise. I mentioned his name before. Believe it or not, it mysteriously doesn't come out. The brother Dane Calloway. Uh-oh. Now, I know, and maybe we can't go deep into it, but he is raising some serious questions about Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway. And it's related to the slavery historical portrayal.
The only realistic reason why you would believe that your ancestors were captured by a few palefaces that traveled to some parts of Africa during a said time of no wars occurring in Africa, and then brought here to America to slave for them, or rather work for them, was because a stranger told you that.
But when I look at Brother Dane Calloway with millions of views, and I walk down 125th Street and people say, well, aren't we the Aborigine? I recognize that what he's been doing is dangerous.
I was looking to watch.
I'm dangerous. Hold up, y'all. I'm dangerous because I'm telling the truth. And it's hurting the agents. It's hurting the agents, y'all. I'm telling you. My wife and I, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and give this heads up right now. My wife and I got something coming. And I mean heat. You understand me? It's on fire.
Set it on fire. Fire.
That's about to break down. Matter of fact, just watch. Okay, just watch. Just watch. I can't wait. Just watch. I'm talking about heat. Watch. And I'm gonna tell you who these people are, man. Okay, we got it coming. We working on it. Watch.
Some wretchedness. You know what's going on in the entertainment world, because I haven't been keeping up a little bit lately, and I stumbled across it. I type on it because this person, you may have heard of this person, and I want y'all to go, man. I'm gonna put that link to this actual video in this video in the description box, and I'm also put Dane Calloway. Go and watch this man's channel, man. This dude is phenomenal, and he don't get the accolade and his flowers right now. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude gives some powerful information, some common sense. Go dig deep and research. Maybe even have to spend a couple dollars on research if you truth seeking. Not fact checking, truth seeking, because there's a difference. And I learned that. And it was confirmed that I learned that because when I watched this video, it was said. It blew my wig back. That was the most important thing out of the video that blew my wig back, because the information that he bringing forth, I'm hip to it because I've been studying and listening to him and going to the places he told me to go to and talk to my bro Truth, because Truth put me on Dane Calloway. And everybody who know me, who know Truth, is a pretty intelligent dude, you know what I'm saying? So when I went and I looked at the video and he got to breaking down, and he just said it. He was like, there's a difference between truth and fact.
There's a difference between fact and truth now. Fact is debatable because a fact is based off someone else's opinion. When in turn, truth is non-debatable because it makes logical sense.
And I had to pause and I said, hold on, Dan, you losing me here. I paused it, I processed it, and I said, you know what the fuck? It is. Because truth lies under the realm of common sense. Fact is, somebody say something, you fact. But that's opinion. Truth is when you could go and look at it and say, right there, 1 + 1 = 2. Truth. Different from the phrase to say, man, P. Diddy, I forgot. And they're gonna say, fact. He just stamping the approval of opinion with fact.
We are black. And what does that mean? Well, I use the word black, and I use that too loosely, because I don't like the word.
What's a good word? The shadows.
No, I am. You call me Negro, you call me nigger, you call me colored boy, you call me black, you call me African. I'm not an African.
I was up in Pine Ridge.
Rest in peace, Dr. Sebi. Rest in peace, Dr. Sebi.
With Russell Means at the Sundance.
One of my dearest friends.
I took my wife and my son My son knew how to go in the wilderness and build a tent where they stayed. I watched my wife. They put a blanket over her arm because she has Indian roots. And they danced. My wife had never danced. But there she was with the women.
In the circle.
In the circle of the Sioux Oglala Nation. And I watched my wife
it touched him.
Reach down in her roots. And you could not tell that she was not one of the Oglala Sioux women as she danced with them.
You know what, brother? If you were to walk into any mosque,
Let me state this real quick. Jay Nightwolf got the wrong idea about me. Brother, I don't know if you've been infiltrated or what. I don't know. I was surprised that somebody sent me that video. Not this one. You know what I'm talking about, Nightwolf. I'm gonna keep it between you and I. But I'm surprised. I'm very surprised, and I hope I hope what I saw ain't true, Nightwolf. Because what I got right here, you stated the truth. And what made you change your mind?
in America, and you just laid your hands on the first person or the third person or the fifth person that you see, you realize that you're laying your hands on a Native American?
I believe
there were only 8% of the slaves that came to America. So how is it that there are so many more people that they claim are black or African Americans? I think they got the numbers wrong, because a lot of Native Americans are the ones that they're counting as black folks too.
I'm surprised at you, Nightwolf. Reach out to me. Let's talk like men.
And I'm here with a powerful brother. What's your name again, sir?
Lionel Van Dam.
Lionel Van Dam. And you are how old today?
85.
You are 85. Something that was very interesting that you said to me the last time I was here to see my grandmother, and we talked a little bit about the Native American Indians. And when you told me you was a Native American, it really, hold up, say that again?
Cherokee Indian.
Cherokee Indian. When did you learn you was a Cherokee Indian?
My mother. With my mother at 3 years old.
Oh, so when you was 3 years old, your mother let you know?
Yes.
Have you ever been to some of the powwows that's out there?
Yes, I have.
What can you tell us about it?
Powwows, reunion of all the tribes, all the Cherokee Nation. We stick together like glue. We feed the nation of our people, and we take care of our people, and we never give up. I'll die an Indian, and that's it. I don't care what my complexion is. It doesn't matter. My kids are Indian, and I'm Indian.
Care for your grandma on your daddy's side? Oh, Grandma White was, oh, Lord. She go me little black grand too.
Her little black grandkid.
Yeah, she wasn't dark. She was Indian. You know, God. Grandma was from
Indian color.
Yeah, Grandmama used to have my flare tail dreads and meat, would make meat. She had a nice shape, don't get me wrong.
She had a nice shape?
Yeah.
Long hair?
Yeah, her hair was just like somebody crafted.
So she had curly hair?
Yes,
so she was Indian?
Yeah, she was Indian. And Grandma called me Middle Wood. That's Maddie I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She called me, not Maddie.
Middle?
Yeah, that's my Wallace wife I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Okay. She called her little black grandson.
So y'all the darkest one?
Yeah.
And she light skinned like an Indian.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, to call a person of color like myself or others black was considered derogatory. That's just a fact. You know, you call somebody black, those were fighting words.
See, and that's another thing. That's another thing. I brought this up also during those people, you know, trying to manipulate our people into getting reparations and blah, 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 and they still referring to each other as black. It's still derogatory. It's still derogatory right now. And we accepting it. And then I proposed a question. I said, could that be the reason why the government is not looking at you when it comes to reparations? Because you calling yourself something that didn't exist during the time, listen, during the time of what? Slavery? Pick it. You want to call it slavery? They weren't calling each other black then. That's important. You know how important that is? That's so important that might change. If you call yourself for who you are, the government they don't have a choice but to recognize you for who you are. But when you calling yourself somebody you're not, this is the results you get. What we see right now, they're not going to pay attention to you. Yeah, you reclassified yourself. Or wait, was that another political campaign where somebody that looked like you and I was putting out in the forefront? Y'all know the answer to this because I already showed you where it came from. I showed you how it started. And Bernard Lafayette telling you that was derogatory during his time. We talking about the 50s here. And then 1964, I gave you the exact date. 1964 is when everybody wanted to start latching onto it as if it's a good thing. Then in the 70s came the Black Power. Well, actually, no, I'm incorrect. I'm incorrect. 64 was Black Power. But it elevated higher in the 70s. And that was all politically done. Okay. By people that were not born here. In North America now. Hear me out. That was done by people that were not born in North America. And they were told to do that by the government. And it looked good on camera. Gotta take pictures of it, right? Everybody, well, not everybody, because even my mother told me she didn't want to be like that, but she did with an afro. But certain people wanted to look like the Black Panthers, their get up. But yet that was all for show. Now, oh, hold on. Let me say it this way. Most of it was for show. Most of it was. Because one of the guys left, went to Africa, and left one of the leaders hanging. And he went berserk. We gonna go. Well, once again, I got more videos. I'm gonna go further. Watch.
Those were fighting words.
Can you name any other group or a group of people, no matter their skin complexion, that are being labeled primarily as the name of two continents?
Right.
Not two countries, two continents. That is called a misnomer, which is the act of applying a wrong name to some person or thing. This should be a major red flag to you. And why do you continuously call yourselves Black people and allow strangers to also continuously call you Black when your skin complexion is realistically different shades of the color brown? That means that there is no such thing as Black people. It doesn't exist. I'll explain. Before we were called Black here in America, we were lawfully called Indian, mulatto, Negro, and then colored, right?
Right.
Then some mysterious things happened in history where our very own people began to claim that they were Black and proud, right? The etymology of the word Black means colorless.
Mm-hmm.
Or the absence of color, which is true, because if you would cut all the lights out, you would only see darkness. So if we were just being lawfully labeled as colored previously, and now gravitating towards calling ourselves Black, which is the absence of color, then we are inadvertently placing ourselves in a state of not being present, non-existent, when it comes to our actual identities. And even more importantly, when it comes to law.
Shalom, shalom, assalamu alaikum to the family. This is the elder out of New Orleans coming to you.
Rabbi Rasan.
With another informative video. Peace, blessings, and love to our
I love this brother
family.
here.
All praises to our Creator and our ancestors. Family, this video gonna be about the true Native Americans, and that is us. That's right. We were already here.
That's right.
In America.
Talk to him, Elder.
Ancient America. History is of melanated, dark-skinned people, starting with the Olmec civilization, the Mayan civilization, the Aztec civilization.
Talk to him, Elder. Hey.
Also that.
Y'all ready?
Iroquois Indians, the Seminole Indians, the Blackfoot Indians, the Navajos, the Choctaw, the Cherokee.
Set it on fire. Fire.
Not these $5 Indians, European people that call themselves Indians. They are not the original people of this land, Europeans. You was not no Indians over in Europe.
Hold on. He got a point. Okay. Now listen to this. Now, if they lied to you about your history, they lied to you about your language, your culture, what makes you think? Oh, and your religion. What makes you think they're not going to lie to you about your identity? Think about that. They else but your identity? Nah, no, but they gonna give you the, oh, go back to Africa. Go back to Africa? All right, hold on, all right, because I know I'm gonna get started. Nah. Let me let the elders speak.
The original people of this land was melanated people that looked just like me. Same color. Even Columbus said so. And they know too. That's right. This is our home that was stolen. And then they put a lot of us into slavery. Took our land. When you see those cowboy Indians, the Indians fighting the cowboys, they was fighting us. That's right. All out west, California, Colorado, Nevada, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. Look at the names in Florida.
Man, you better respect the real elders. You better respect the real elders.
You do not know a goddamn thing about Africa.
Look at the names in Oklahoma, even in New Orleans. Chapatula, Chippewa, that's Indian name. Alabama, even Mississippi, got Native American names that came from melanated people that was already here. That's right. That's the lie. They try to tell us that we all came from Africa. Biggest lie ever told.
Hi, my name is Freddie. And Dane is my grandson, my oldest grandchild. And
Miss you,
I was
Granddad.
born in Florence, South Carolina. I was born in 1936. My great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian. Although I didn't know her, but I did know my grandmother. She had a lot of Indian in her. And she is from the Florence area also. My great-grandmother and my grandmother.
Miss you, Granddad. Hold on, let me switch to the other, I miss my granddad, man. Let me, hold up, y'all. Let me switch to the other one. Wow. Okay. Woo. Hold on. Let me get myself together again. Okay. All right. I'm here, y'all. Hold up a second, all right? Give me a second. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay. Hold on. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose, y'all. 1 second. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, man, I miss him. Miss him. He the main reason I'm here. Main reason. Man. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna play. I'm trying to figure out which one I should play now, because I got 3 I'm waiting. Matter of fact, let me go to. Yeah, let me pull this up, right? And then yeah, let me let me play this one. Oh yeah, I can't even see it. Hold up. 1 second, let me switch the screen. All right. So let me put this out there, okay? Because people got to misconstrue. When I tell you that researching is not 3.5 seconds on Google and you regurgitating information off of Wikipedia, you cannot combat me or debunk me with that. Not the information that I present. In fact, your credibility is out of the window. Immediately, as soon as you pull up an article from Wikipedia. Here's why.
In 2001, Larry Sanger co-founded Wikipedia. He left the company some years ago, but in the years since, Wikipedia has gone on to become the world's single most important source of history, of information about the world. And so it's a problem that we ought to pay attention to when Larry Sanger himself says that Wikipedia is no longer a reliable source of honest information.
Okay. It's no longer a source of honest information.
He says the editors of Wikipedia use highly politicized sources and block dissenting news outlets from contributing. And once again, that's a problem for all of us. Larry Sanger joins us tonight. Larry Sanger, thanks so much for coming on. This is one of those things that a lot of people, a lot of us who use Wikipedia have noticed. Well, wait a second, I know some facts that are somehow not in this entry, or they're playing up something that doesn't seem to be true, or this is highly politicized. You see the bigger picture here. What do you think is going on?
Well, it's complicated. For one thing, Wikipedia allows anonymous contribution. And that means that because it's one of the most popular sources of information online, there's a natural incentive for governments and corporations, spies, even criminal operations to basically learn how to play the Wikipedia game. So it's opaque to me now how it really works. And what results is basically establishment views are the ones that you find pushed, and they've completely abandoned the neutral point of view.
That's a problem because, in my view, Wikipedia shapes this country's understanding of the world. It is the primary source of information for a lot of people. I would probably say most people, actually, about history.
The primary source for most people about what, Tucker?
Actually, about history.
About history. That's a problem. So when you come at Dane Calloway, you better come correct. When one of the co-founders of Wikipedia telling you,
So we need to fix this. How do you think that we would do that?
Well, thanks for asking that. I don't know that there is a way to fix Wikipedia within Wikipedia. It's an institutionally conservative place. What I want to see, actually, is a new, basically, knowledge commons, a network of all the encyclopedia articles in the world collected together and made easily searchable. You understand how the blogosphere works, right? So there's a standard that is used, and that makes it possible to collect blogs and blog articles from all over the place. I want the same thing to happen, but with encyclopedia articles. And if we did that, then we would no longer have to depend on Wikipedia, and we'd have, especially if we coupled that with a rating system then we would be able to, or multiple rating systems actually, that would enable us to find the best articles from our own point of view on every subject. And again, we would then be free of Wikipedia.
It must kill you as one of the people who founded Wikipedia, which has become this central part of our culture, of our intellectual life, weird as it is to say, to watch what's happened to it. How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry, how do I feel about what?
Your role in creating this thing that misleads the country.
Listen, he laughing.
Misleads the country. Misleads the country. Creating this thing.
What?
Your role in creating this thing that misleads the country.
I'm embarrassed.
Your role in this thing that misleads the country, and he giggles at it.
This thing that misleads the country.
I'm embarrassed, to be quite honest, and I've said so for a long time. I've been a leading critic of Wikipedia for over a decade now, and I've been trying various
over a decade
things to try to improve on it, and I'm sorry to all the people whose reputations have been sullied by
hold on. He apologizing to y'all. When I say your reparations, your reputation is out the window. Oh man.
By what I got started 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, Google has helped a lot by promoting Wikipedia, which it is.
Yeah, Tucker. That's the truth. Google helped. That's another thing. And first, soon as you pop up Google and you need some information, I told you, you can't trust Google or Wikipedia when it comes to research. In fact, that's not how you research anyway. You don't do it that way. Like, you don't even get taught that in college or any university. Like, I mean, they get the littlest things incorrect. And you can't tell what is what and who is who, and it doesn't even disclose who wrote it or who brought it up. They'll even have broken links in there. They'll make it up and say that it came from an article. Then you go click and see what article it came from. It ain't there. Like, come on, man. You can't trust them, man, at all. All right, next video. Let's move on to the next video. Let me switch it up real quick. Yeah, because it's to watch two of them I wanted to play. All right, I'm bringing it over. And I'm going to tell you some things too. And yeah, so I'm gonna be, yeah, I'll do it in this one. Okay. In today's society of America, there is an identity crisis with so-called Black Americans only that I have been exposing ever since I joined YouTube to present publicly verifiable evidence along with historical documented information that our people are not familiar with, in hopes that we may correct this nail-biting major issue amongst ourselves as one whole community. Ever since the 1960s, our people were slowly adopting the historically derogatory term Black as a descriptive means that refers to us as a group of people benevolently by way. Hold on, who is that real quick before we move? Let's just make sure that everybody understand. And then they try to, I hate how they try to use Malcolm, but anyway. If you don't know who this is Stokely Carmichael. This is This person had no idea how we was living on this side at all. He was taught this. In fact, when he came here, he wasn't living in our neighborhoods. He was around a bunch of pale faces. He never experienced any discrimination. He never experienced any hard labor type of job, nothing. But all of a sudden he went to college and now he started spitting that he wanted to have some black power out the blue. Stirring our people wrong in Mississippi, campaigning for a political position, telling them that they should go vote for the Democratic Party because they're going to have our back with making us become first-class citizens, which in turn lowered our citizenship status that we didn't even have established at that time because we didn't recognize what the government did when it comes to classifications. So he took advantage of it in order for whose political gain, though? Because it wasn't his. He already had his position as the chairman of SNCC. So who was he working for? He made sure, him and a few other people made sure that they twisted the conversation from Freedom Now, which was Martin Luther King's movement, to Black Power. He was a problem. But nobody had a single clue? Nah, you know why? Because he directed his attention towards the college students, the vulnerable college students. And our people lost their lands, lost their farms, lost their jobs, just because of this right here. Don't believe me? Good. I got videos up on it in full detail with evidence after evidence after evidence. I don't got to go back into it. You don't believe nothing I said? Good. Go back on my channel, look at it. I promise you, you're going to get taught. It's called the breach of the civil rights movement. He was the breach, him and his campaign. It flipped it. That was purposely done. Purposely done. Now, let me ask you guys a question before we move any further. Where's Black Power now? Where is it? Do we have Black Power now if we're still asking for reparations? And that's sad, right? And all I'm doing is telling the truth. Don't get mad. If you want to hate, just hate. But I'm going to tell you how it is now. Matter of fact,
if there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
Y'all gotta wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep, 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 sleep.
So, when it came to this Black Power, like even back then, what were they looking for? What were they looking for? They were trying to get people to vote Democrat. For what? Some illusion of a first-class citizenship. But there was different classes, don't get me wrong. It was first, second, and third. But did it happen? Did we become first-class citizens? Are we first-class citizens right now? Ooh, you see how deep this is? I said right now. Are we first-class citizens right now? So what was all this Black Power stuff for if we're not first-class citizens now in 2022? That lowered our status. Somebody said fourth class. That's Damn near. But technically second. But what I want people to understand is that they didn't want us to become first class. This is the reason why we lost everything. Because once you became an elector or a voter, you lost your rights to your land. Because then you became a citizen of a foreign entity. This is the problem. But what if we become citizens of our own entities? Come on, y'all. That's it. Become citizens of our own entities. I also showed you in that video of the breach of the civil rights movement, how people were losing their lands, losing their farms, losing their jobs. But yet we want reparations right now. And you don't see that this whole argument is about the land? Because the land takes care of generations. This is the reason why the government wanted to have control over the land so they could have control over the trade. They blew up certain parts of lower Mississippi River and upper Mississippi River in order for them to craft it how they wanted to have it done. Still to this day, they throwing dynamite in it right now, redirecting its directions so they could control it. Anything that's coming in, anything that's going out. And guess who helped them? Our people. Be on the lookout for that. You're gonna see everything I'm talking about when it comes to that point. Just gave you a hint.
Of young children who were college students under the influence of indoctrinating school curriculums, various religious beliefs, and of course, political correctness.
When I was growing up, to call a person of color like myself or others black was considered derogatory. That's just a fact. You know, you call somebody black, those were fighting words. Those were fighting words.
Set it on fire.
Throughout my previous documentaries, I've shared detailed information concerning the reasons why the term black should not be associated with us as a descriptive means. And in this segment, I will prove why those so-called Pan-Africanists stemming from the mid-1900s and beyond are royally incorrect with their most popular outlandish claim that...
Okay. Just in case these people don't know who these two people are, that's William Biden on the right and I was about to say Carter G. Woodson and W.E.B. Du Bois on the left. These are the two heads of the Pan-African movement. These are the two heads, especially W.E.B. Now, Pan-Africans today wouldn't give him a lot of credit because they followed by William, but certain things that he believed in, in fact, you're gonna see, 2, 3, hold on, I think it's the third one that's gonna come out. Get ready though, I'm telling you, get ready. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is, with these two people right here, you talking about a sellout. Especially W.E.B. Especially W.E.B. He is the main reason why, actually, him and Franz Boas are the reason why that so-called, we came from Africa, streamlined. And then it eventually got taught in our schools. It took them a while. I'm gonna get into that too. That's coming up. Not in this video, I'm talking about new videos that's getting ready to come out. You'll see.
Our ancestors and their offsprings of today are of African descent. In order to comprehend and develop an understanding of what I'm about to mention next, one must allow themselves the opportunity to think freely, without any restriction, hesitation, or any form of negative influence based on their own personal beliefs. because this is not about what you may believe. This is strictly about what you know and what you are willing to find out on your own. For starters, our eldest family members of so-called Black American households only did not inform their grand and or their great-grandchildren about being descendants of African slaves that were allegedly captured by small waves of anonymous palefaces who were pirates of sailboats and later cargo ships. This story sprung about around the 1950s by way of school teachers and college professors whose sole job was to indoctrinate the mindsets of the children who were sent to these federalized institutions in order to learn about their history from strangers. The old saying around this time period that is still popularized in use today was to never trust a stranger. But of course, we can all see that school teachers and college professors are somehow an exception from this general rule, being as though they carry the responsibility of teaching the next generation up, who are the students that are forced to learn about everything they teach uncritically. And unfortunately, that also included their history. And then these same children grew into their adulthoods, regurgitating these same stories about their history that they learned from their teachers and not their individual families, which has caused a generational identity crisis within our communities systematically. To prevent this major issue from reoccurring, we must swallow the pills of truth, no matter how difficult it may be for some to do so, by debunking the various pseudo-theories surrounding our identities that many of our people have adopted as their history. For example, many of our people today have been led astray by various self-proclaimed street scholars of Pan-Africanism ideologies, theories, and outlandish claims of the 1960s, without questioning its
All right, two things. Number one, this person is the guy that I was talking about that betrayed the other gentleman that ran the Black Panther party. Or Black Panther, excuse me. Stokely Carmichael had Black Panther Party, and they came a year later and created the Black Panther movement. But I can't recall his name right now, but he's the one that moved to Africa on him. Maybe I'm looking in the chat right now. Can somebody say his name real quick? Yeah. Oh no, Bobby Seale was the no, that's not. Bobby Seale was the guy I'm referring to, the one that stayed. No, his name is Bobby Seale, right? And it was Huey P. Newton is the one that stayed, right? I don't have that information in front of me, but I know for a fact that it's this guy, the one that left. Eldridge Cleaver. Okay. All right, now another thing I want to mention, guys. Bobby Seals, right? I could have sworn it was Bobby Seals. That's him, right? This is the one that moved. Yeah. I know I was right. That had to be him. So he changed his name also because Stokely Carmichael changed his name also. No, notice how they was always changing the name and trying to make it an African. All right, anyway. So, another thing I want to point out is what he has on. Now, remember when I showed you, right before that, I showed you the dashikis, right? Now, keep in mind, the fabulous new folklore look that's taking America by storm. This was a movement that was trying to manipulate our mindsets into thinking that we came from Africa. And this stuff is, and look, and they saying the inspiration is African and the origin is India. The dashiki. They saying that in this ad. But that's, I'm explaining something to you guys right now. What you see with a lot of those Pan-African pro-black people, they're not going to tell you the tribe that's associated with, and they're not even called dashikis. What they're called is kente. Okay? It's called kente. Hear me out on this one. Now, I know you probably heard kente cloth, kente garments. You may have, but this is it. This is it. A lot of these people were wearing, and then this is false stuff though. Right here is like printed on. This ain't kente. Kente is weaved. Like, I noticed, I'm showing you that all of them was doing that. Look, she was in the, I forgot her name, but she was in the Black Panthers. Look what she got on. Bobby Seale is his name. That's what I recall. His name was Bobby Seale. But you could tell that's printed on. That's printed on. Angela Davis, yeah, that's her name. Whole time. And they go, Stokely Carmichael, look at his garment. They wasn't wearing that from where he from. Now, but the kente, oh, in fact, what am I showing you? Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, for example, on Umar, that this is kente. Okay, but this is another thing that you could be talking to those Pan-Africans about. They're not telling you what tribe that this is associated with, because they're not a part of that tribe. They want to claim that you're African, but yet they don't tell you the tribe that they're marking. I'm gonna drop a bomb right now. This is probably about to be the first time you guys will hear this. The kente came from the U people. U. E-W-E. U. That's of West Africa. Now, the U nation consists of, hold on, let me let that bomb go. The U nation consists of 3 or 4 different places. I know it's Ghana, Nigeria, I believe is Dogon, and something started with a T. And I can't think of it right off. But this particular nation wears the kente as their traditional, or their culture. That's a part of their culture. But these Pan-Africans not telling us that we're the U people, right? They're not saying that. Togo or Togo, that's right, it's that one. I don't know how to pronounce that one correctly. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly or not, as far as the pronunciation is concerned. But they are part of the U nation. And they never, like, what do they never speak that language? When they greet you guys, what do they do? Peace and black power, family. Peace and black power. And the U nation speak what? U language. Not one time are they pulling from the U language to greet you. Togo. Okay, that's how it's pronounced, Togo. Okay. Yeah, no disrespect to these real authentic Africans. It's just these fools that's marking them out here in America when they ain't got nothing to do with you. I know that for a fact, that they ain't got nothing to do with the real authentic Africans. They just wannabes. They don't don't even know. They don't know nothing about Africa at all. They just talking trash, trying to take your money.
You talk more shit than a little bit. Back to Mother Africa. That's bullshit. You do not know a goddamn thing about Africa.
They really don't. Now, I know for a fact it's pronounced you. I know for a fact that it's pronounced you because a good friend of mine told me, and he's a part of that nation. And that's another thing. Shout out to, and they're not even called Africans on top of that. Actually, let me not, I'm gonna get into it in this video. Hold on, let me not go too far.
Own personal monetary gain.
Oh, hold on, let me, hold on, because it's all of them. So I'm gonna start from right there.
The 1960s.
Because see, it was modified from the 1960s, and then it carried on because people were selling all these garments and fake. They're straight false garments made of cotton, printed on t-shirts and hats and shoes, and they still doing it right now. You can get it on Amazon. As a matter of fact, look at the thumbnail. All three of those pictures are of pale people wearing those garments that they selling right now on Amazon. I got them pictures directly from Amazon. I was like, here, they representing the culture? Yeah, but they representing a particular culture because it ain't ours. That's not authentic. So now all of a sudden they want to be African, but who told them that? How come they wasn't just saying that just 10 years prior? Now all of a sudden they pop up. Oh, we from Africa? That was purposely done and politically done. But yeah, it went from these 60s right here, 60s, 70s, and went all the way up. And now you got people like Tariq, Nasheed, and Umar Johnson, all the rest of these people are still Pan-African right now. No matter how hard they trying to claim that they aberrant right now, right? Tariq saying that we original and like, you know, he been listening to me, right? And he already admitted that, right? Ask him his tribe, I dare you. Ask him what tribe his family represent. And I'm gonna tell you something. He not gonna be able to answer you. Hold on, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Our ancestors ain't have no Muslim name. Get out of there, Tyreek.
Get out of my sight. Get out of my sight. Get out of my sight, you fuck.
Marcus Sanders.
Questioning its accuracy or validity of whether it's right or wrong.
Let's go.
Or has any truth to stand on to begin with.
Set it on fire.
You will find a few of these actors and actresses fighting hard to keep their pseudoscience afloat amongst our communities by latching themselves onto various trending topics that will arise and converting their opinions from that trending topic into their true agenda, which is to continuously campaign the Out of Africa theory in hopes that more people would join their We Are Africans diaspora movement for their own personal monetary gain. Ever since I created my channel and brought the truth to the public's attention, people who have been heavily invested in capitalizing on our people's ignorance concerning their true identities have created various slander campaigns against me in hopes that I'll fade away or shut up or even join them or assist them by keeping our people in the dark and get paid for doing so. But as many of you know, I did not cave in, and I have pasted my foot on the gas pedal with super glue with presenting the truth to the public. And over the years, I have assisted thousands of our people with identifying themselves for who they truly are. and have presented undeniable truths with multiple sources of publicly verifiable evidence concerning what really happened with our people here in America, aka Turtle Island. And so now, many of you are coming after those people who are banking on the ignorance of our vulnerable people not knowing their true identities. And the truth is finally being promoted, delivered, and accepted, no matter who likes it or not.
And another thing I want to mention, it's a lot of people, like for example, those people that are, you know, some of them will probably use my name or whatever like that, use my picture and claim that they debunking me and stuff like that, but they don't present any information. You got to understand what this is, right? Their reality has been shooken. They don't know how to take this information. All they could do is make an excuse and say, oh no, he lying. He providing misinformation. He don't know what he talking about. He talking out the side of his neck. But they don't provide one bit of information at all. No record in sight. None. None. I called out the top guys multiple times just because they was so-called trying to assassinate my character and it didn't work. I said, come on, let's have a professional debate. They scared though. They don't want no smoke. And that's not, that's what it is. They don't know what I'm gonna bring. They not trying to have that. Because this is how they feed their families. And that's real talk. And that's not fair to our people. They're leading our people astray with false information. And you know what's, and some of them will say that I'm getting this information from white folks, but where'd you get yours? Because I told you the master teachers of both William and WEB. Don't worry, it's gonna come out again in broader detail. Watch. My wife and I have been working on some stuff now. Watch what happened. I'm gonna call you guys out. And I'm gonna expose your little master teachers also. You are getting kicked out the door. Our people don't need that. We don't need to be taught lies. Our whole issue was the fact that they called us the lost people. But it's not because of some story that happened in the Bible. It was because we were lost mentally because of indoctrination. When you're hearing one thing from another person and then you don't even want to believe your own family members. Like, how you going to put a stranger's opinion about who you are up against your own family members' truth about who you are? How does that make sense? So now your grandparents don't have no credibility, but a stranger does? You're not making sense. This is what I'm exposing. This is why those people are mad at me. But once again,
if there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
Come on, keep bringing it. I'm gonna keep giving you this stuff right here. I'm gonna keep giving you this stuff right here, which is the truth. This is it.
This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here. This shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga. Set it on fire.
So, since one of these individuals of the Pan-Africanist ideology stated yet another false claim and attempts to belittle our people for knowing just who we really are, I'll be sure to adjust him right now with the absolute truth.
Nah, I'm not going to entertain you indigenous Negroes today.
responded to somebody that came in this chat that was talking about we're not African, blah, blah, blah. He said he not going to entertain us, right? Then he immediately contradicts himself.
See, the word indigenous is not an indigenous word. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know the word aboriginal is not an aboriginal word? Did you know that?
Our argument is not about words. It's about our true identity.
So you want to keep on having these intellectual punching matches. You want to intellectually masturbate words. You want a word fight. You want to fight over words.
Again, our argument is not about words. It's about our true identity. Reverse psychology. Wait a minute. Keep this in mind. Remember, he claimed that he got his little doctrine in psychology. So that's exactly what he used. And that's exactly how he manipulated you. He used reverse psychology, a persuasive technique that involves getting someone to engage in the desired action or response by suggesting the opposite. He did it. We wasn't talking about a word. We're talking about our identities. He flipped it. I know it. See, that's the reason why he running from me now. He know better than that. He know better than that. I'm not silly. But this fool right here. We're gonna call all y'all
Well,
out.
here's a little word fight for you. The word Africa is older than the word aboriginal and indigenous. Let me say it again. The word Africa is older than the word aboriginal and indigenous. Let me say it again. The word Africa is older than the word aboriginal and indigenous. Furthermore, the word Africa comes from the original Nile Valley tongue of our first ancestors, Africa, and it means, under some interpretations, birth of man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And it means, under other interpretations, from the Spirit of God.
What the hell are you talking about?
And there's multiple interpretations of the word Africa, but what we all understand about Africa is that it is indigenous to Africa. It is aboriginal to Africa. It is...
Hold on. Wait. Notice how he didn't tell you what language the term Africa is from. He not telling you where it derived from. Keep that in mind, right? He not telling you the language it derived from. It's indigenous to Africa. Didn't he just say the word indigenous is not indigenous to America? The word aboriginal is not aboriginal to America. Did he turn around? See, look. Look. Hey, listen, man. Listen.
Get out.
No, not that one. I need this one. Because, okay, so your point was to say, all right, let's have you said, all right, so you flipped it with reverse psychology and said, we gonna have a word boxing match. But then you turned around and they informed nobody where the term Africa came from. You said the interpretations of their definitions, not where it derived from, what language in Africa. Oh, but it's the whole continent. Oh, where did it come from? Where did it come from? Sound like the term Africa ain't from Africa. Huh? Hey, man, it's too easy. It's too easy.
And there's multiple interpretations of the word Africa, but what we all understand about Africa is that it is indigenous to Africa. It is aboriginal to Africa. It is native to Africa.
Talk more shit than a little bit. Back to Mother Africa. That's bullshit. You do not know a goddamn thing about Africa.
The word aboriginal comes from a white man, and the word indigenous comes from another white man. The word Africa comes from the black man.
Did he make it about? Did he make it about race?
Now look, what he just stated is called misinformation.
Clearly.
Simply because it is not true at all. The name Africa was not historically referring to the entire landmass that Americans call Africa today. In fact, the name Africa is derived from the indigenous Afri people of Carthage, which is a small ancient city within the Kingdom of Tunisia that later became known as Africa historically.
Listen, I just said that later became Africa historically. I'm talking about the Kingdom of Tunisia. Later became Africa. You do not want no smoke with a historian. You don't. You know he already saw that video. Of course. He got quiet right after that. He's like, well, what? He didn't even know that.
Historically, it neighbored other Berber inhabited locations like Tunis, which is the largest city of Tunisia, Algeria, Rome, Morocco, and especially Libya, being part of the Maghreb region along the Mediterranean Sea. These Afri people of ancient Carthage were historically known to be of pale-skinned complexions, adopting much of ancient Roman traditions, cultures, and spiritual practices over the years. According to National Geographic, as ancient Rome, which was Carthage's neighbor in the Mediterranean, grew in power and expanded, a conflict between the two civilizations became inevitable. The rivalry between Carthage and Rome eventually erupted into the three Punic Wars, fought on land and sea. And when the smoke cleared, Carthage, along with the entire landmass of Tunisia, was captured by the Roman Empire in 146 BC. The Netherlands was part of the Roman Empire during this time period.
Hold up, that's important. The Netherlands were a part of it. This is so important, because watch this.
The Netherlands was part of the Roman Empire during this time period, which indicates that Dutch-speaking Afri-Berber people inhabited Carthage before and after its government's collapse for 500 years until the invasion of the Arabs during the 7th century.
So the Arabs ain't come in until the 7th century. So it's that word Africa is not Arabic.
Large groups of these Africans migrated to the southernmost regions of Ethiopia during the wars. And even today, they refer to themselves as Afrikaners. Paying tribute to their ancestors of Carthage.
They go to real Africans right here. They go to real Africans right here.
Along with other Roman European landmasses like the Netherlands, Ethiopia during the wars. And even today, they refer to themselves as Afrikaners, paying tribute to their ancestors of Carthage, along with other Roman European landmasses like the Netherlands. And their Dutch-inspired native language is called Afrikaans, which was brought to the southernmost regions of what Americans call South Africa today by way of Protestant settlers of the 17th century. So now you know for sure that a so-called black man did not create the term Africa. And that shouldn't matter anyway, whether if it was created by a black or white man, because you're still spreading false information, no matter how you put it.
Exactly.
And if these stories were true, which they are not, that our teachers in school taught us concerning our identities being of African descent, then that means the story must change from stating that our ancestors were captured from the west coast of Africa and then brought to the Americas by way of the slave trade. Because the original inhabitants of what we call West Africa today did not refer to themselves as Africans in any way, shape, or form. But the people of Libya referred to their landmass as Africa, and even the Latin definition of the word Africa confirms that.
Woo! The Latin definition of the word Africa says Libya, or to cause an uprise. You can look this up. I'm not making none of this up. I ain't making none of this up.
The out of Africa theory is just that. It's a theory, an assumption, a guess, an idea, a thought that has never been proven merely because it has no truth to stand on. This is why the government wants you to believe that our people came off of so-called slave ships from Africa, because they will continue to expand their foreign empire right here on our true motherland, right up under our noses, literally banking billions off of our people's ignorance about who they truly are. But this all stops right now.
Yep. So I'm switching into the next one now. Let's see, this goes back to what I was saying as far as you trusting this government, thinking they about to give us some reparations when they only doing this for foreigners. They not worried about you. And they haven't been. But I'm pulling it up now. Now this one I'm about to play is a little old, but hold up. But it's great information. Yeah, man. Even the ones that's, you know, I just don't understand some of y'all. I think what it is the people that choose to hate, once again, line them up, okay?
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
Line them up. But the thing is, I really want y'all to focus on or hone in onto why these people are hating, right? The reason why is because there's something about them that could be going on in their life that they didn't actually get a hold of, okay? Or they just could be simply jealous because they're not able to do certain things that they see me do or see other people do. Or they could be making money off of telling a lie and banking on our people's ignorance. Keep in mind, I said right at the end of that video that they would continuously bank billions off of our people's ignorance. I said multiple times before that the enemy comes in various skin complexions, not just one. Notice how these Pan-Africans would say that the white man is the enemy, but you not breaking down which white man it is. Not one time did you state the white man that so-called captured West Africans from Africa and brought them to America. Not one time did you name the white man that was able to speak an African language in Africa to capture those Africans. Not one time could you name the white man that gathered up a white army and went down there in West Africa and started a war. Or, you know, sometimes they say they was capturing captives or people that were in jail in West Africa, but you ain't named the white man that knew some African language from West Africa, like you language, that spoke that and say, hey, let me get some of them captives or the people that are in jail, some convicts, so I could take them and sneak them into America, have them work for me. You can't name one white man, but yet this is all the white man's fault somehow. I'm just speaking truth. How is this all the white man's fault? Now, I told you specific white folks, right, that did the dirty work. It wasn't all white folks, because guess who helped these white folks? Our folks. I don't even want to lay claim to these. Look, I don't even want to lay claim to them. They betrayed our people for something, whether if it was money, some type of monetary gain. Oh yeah, but it was a lot of them. That's all me and my wife working on this time around. You gonna have to learn who these people are, because you keep blaming white folks. When, according to my research, them so-called black folks outnumbering the white folks when it come to being our enemies. Outnumbering. Think it's a game here. But yet I teach you who came up with these ideas. Not one time did any Pan-African step up and debunk any information I presented on who did it. Who brought out the out of Africa theory? I'm sure all of y'all know who it is. I done went over it too many times. Who streamlined it? That's all right. Well, you about to find out who streamlined it.
Now, as I've stated numerous times before, I am well aware that many of you were taught to believe line after line in today's society of America concerning this topic and various types of correlating information by design. But I would like for you to note that the actual quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. The so-called African Americans of today's society are yet still struggling to come to grips with their true identities, cultures, heritage, and especially their actual history.
Oh yeah, you know this video, listen to how my mic sounds.
And especially their actual history.
I've been doing this for a minute,
because
baby.
of how they were taught to believe in a fictitious story that claimed that all people of color in America are somehow descendants of Africans. The problem with this story is that there is no verifiable evidence of it actually being truthful information. I'll get into why here shortly. And yet, there are many so-called blacks or so-called African Americans that are willing to go to their graves with a very strong belief in this falsified information. See, this is why I single-handedly
look at the bush.
write, edit, and produce my content for viewers like yourself in hopes that you would take the initiative to literally note all of the information that I present throughout my content, so that you may be inspired to conduct your own research using those same key factors manifested within my works. Now with all—
I just noticed that I just noticed real quick, y'all been on a journey with me too. Y'all done saw me go up and down and weight, long hair, short hair. Y'all done seen it all, man. Y'all done seen it all.
All of that being said, let's go back in time a little to where this fictitious propaganda—
Hold on. Now, I swear to God, if you do not know who this person is, you need to pay attention. Even if you Pan-African, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, if you're a born-again Christian, if you're a Muslim, I don't care your religious belief, because that's what that is. Pan-Africanism is religion. It's religion. But I need you to focus on what I'm presenting to you right here. You need to see the problem, okay? And where it came from.
Was cultivated and implemented into our mindsets as a fact of one-sided historic information. Melville Jean Herskovich was born on September 10th, 1895, in Bellefontaine, Ohio, to two Jewish immigrant parents who immigrated from parts of Europe to North America during the mid-1800s.
Yeah, I got footage of him. Yep. Yep.
His mother, Henrietta Hart, was an immigrant from Germany, and his father, Hermann Herskovich, was an immigrant from Hungary.
All right, so let's establish this. Both of them are immigrants. Both of his parents are immigrants. So that means with him being born here, he's a native. Y'all heard that, right? A Native American immigrant. I already did this in another video. I showed you why you shouldn't be calling yourself native. Now, I know a lot of people will just slip out and say native because they adapted that term native, but they don't know the definition of how that works against us, just like all other these words. Indian work against us. Negro work against us. Colored work against. We didn't call ourselves this. The only reason why you should use the term Indian is because that's who the government lied to. Negro Indians, Indians, American Indians, wild Indians, urban Indians. It was always Indian. I taught everybody about the term Niji and why. And why. That has nothing to do with the Native American. The term Native American ain't coming to the 1970s. The know-nothings. I already put this out. That's not me making fun of them. That's exactly what they were called. The know-nothings. The Native American Party. A whole group of foreigners. Same time them Asians came in. Some of y'all gonna call them Mongoloids. Some of y'all gonna call them Mongols. Some of y'all call them Mexicans mestizos. We know about the admixtures, but who are the indigenous ones? Who are the ones that are, I'm talking about full blood, authentic from this land? That will be us, the Niji. We are authentic. We are not them. They are not us. But since the government did favors or did deals, rather, allegedly, with our people, and we were supposed to benefit, they needed to replace us in order for their people to benefit. The whole ordeal, I already went over this. It was a great deal that was supposed to happen, and somebody didn't stick to their word, which was the foreign government. That was even before they became incorporated. Remember when I told you that this government didn't start kicking tail until the 1850s? That was also around the same time where they started allowing selected voting. Selected voting. Meaning that whatever you say don't count. They already selected the person that they want in a political position of power, that they feel as though is able to lead other foreigners to victory over control of the indigenous people. They even got a reminder on their dollar bill, "In God we trust." What God you think they were talking about? The same God you worship? Listen. Like, real talk. Like, I mean, God is a mighty God. And you think God would allow that to happen? Allow one group of people to overtake another group of people. But then they told you, however they told you, you can take this how you want it. They told you that's how it was supposed to be. It was written. It was written. That's how it was supposed to be. You falling for that? Just like they were saying, oh, this history was written by the victors. That's how it was supposed to be. This is how history went. You connecting the dots? Keep in mind, I'm not going against your belief. I'm telling you what you were told and what you need to know and what you need to fix. These folks have been lying, top, bottom. The only way, I told you, that only way that they could stop our people from fighting them coming over here, because they were intruding, is what they brought their missionaries over here to preach the gospel. You know where I'm about to go. It's in my book, the newest book me and my wife just put out, called It Was Told in Reverse, called The Congregation for Propagating the Gospel in Foreign Parts, by way of King James. And yet you bigging up King James because he was so-called of color. But yet he funded the intrusion. You don't think something wrong with that? That means you ain't supposed to be trusting no stranger, no matter their skin complexion. Oh, wait a minute, y'all, he a so-called black European. Yeah, he a royalty, and yet he sent missionaries over here to infiltrate your people. But you gonna big him up? And you gonna hold up the Bible that he approved and say that this is the one we should be reading? And he take out how many books and say, no, they don't need to read those books. Here, read this set. Want me to go there? I'm gonna say this again. He took out how many books and said, nah, here, read this set. Out of the original, because he didn't create the original. You fighting over the Old Testament and New Testament, but what about the Old Testament? Before King James infiltrated. You know how many books he took out of that? You don't think that's a problem? Why was that so important? Because he wanted to indoctrinate the people. Just like how this government do when they created the compulsory educational system. They took out the truth and put in what they wanted to indoctrinate you. It's the same thing. They learned from their master teachers who were not from here. Who were not from here. But yet, you bigging up King James. He wasn't our people just because he shared the same skin complexion. You giving that nigga, look, for real? You gonna give him that type of props just because of skin complexion? Didn't we make that mistake recently? Bigging up Obama, right? Uh-oh. Bigging up Obama because he shared the same skin complexion. about, yeah, y'all change gonna come. That was his whole campaign. And what happened? And what happened? Did we get reparations? Did they lighten up on our people when it comes to credit? The credit bill, did they lighten up on us on credit? Did they stop redlining? Did these banks allow us to get approved for house loans and car loans and land loans, whatever? That matter of fact, they even giving you trouble with getting a loan to go to school. You got to be in the arts and entertainment in order for you to get a free ride. Listen. Ooh. You got to be in the arts and entertainment in order to get a free ride. Everything is still going on. No, Dane, don't talk about history. That was history. It's still happening. This is why people like me are very important, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I researched, and I'm going to give it to you the best way that I can. I remember in the beginning, like this video, I went hard. I did. And this was old. This video was old, but I was giving information after information after. I know in my newer videos, if you could tell, they're more easier to digest. I had to change up my style, because in the beginning I was going in. I ain't care. I ain't care, but I care about my people. I want them to learn. So I restructured how I was teaching. Notice how the Pan-Africans ain't do that. They just got their hands up looking for your money. Donate. Donate. When the last time you heard me ask for a donation? And by the way, shout out to the people that did donate. And shout out to the people that did become members of the channel. I really do appreciate that. Okay, don't think I'm not paying attention. I see that, okay? Now, but when I'm doing something and I'm talking, I don't necessarily look at the chat all the time, but I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I appreciate the support. Okay? But I'm not out here begging. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking people that do. You know, I'm not. But I'm not doing that. In fact, I didn't even want to do it when I started my channel. People was like, Dane, you better start asking people for donations. In the comments, go back to my old videos. I was like, no. No, I'm not in the, all right, fine. You're right, I am traveling. And that's when I was on the road. Heavy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, fine. Forget it. That will help out my research. I asked for donations for a while. Then I just stopped. Like, nah. If they do it, they're doing out of that. They're being generous. They know, you can see who's authentic and who's not. If you learn something from me and you feel as though, you know, you appreciate that and you want to be generous, and I appreciate that. But I'm not about to be like, yeah, come on, y'all, donate. No, I'm not going any further until you donate. No, come on, y'all, I need to put up this museum. I need everybody to. Crying about reparations, but want to put up a museum. Crying about white supremacy, but the solution is a museum. Yeah, look, and the other person was crying about reparations and white supremacy, and his solution was a school. Are you kidding me? What's next? A theme park? No, the solution is that we need our own everything. Government structure first. Government structure first. We can't become a nation off of a museum. We can't become a nation off of a school. Are you kidding me? And your school was going to teach what? This Pan-African crap? Ain't nobody gravitating to, man, y'all rappers was supposed to put up some money. And nigga, you better go talk to Nas or something. Somebody that was, like, Nas ain't even on that no more. I mean, yeah, you got caught up in like 4 or 5 different books and you stuck there? Nah, you ain't stuck there. You choose to be there. Now, one time, did you see these Pan-Africans pull up their family members and say, look, y'all, here go my my grandfather, my grandmother talking that we came from Africa. The language, etc., the tribe, etc. None of that. None of that. And here we are, 2022, and they've been saying that same crap since 1960s. Nothing changed. Nothing brand new. Regurgitating the same stuff. That's why Marcus Sanders jumped ship and wanted to be like, yeah, I'm Aboriginal, y'all. No, we're the foundational people here, y'all. We really? But what? Okay, so how do you know that? What information did you find all of a sudden? Wasn't you just pimping, macking, and hoeing? Now all of a sudden you go, okay, people can change, but what do you have all of a sudden? No, I've been doing this. You know, I got Hidden Colors. Really? But you had other people on Hidden Colors. You wasn't talking. You ain't the researcher. You're not the historian. What are you? The entertainer, the comedian. You go online and clown people the whole time. You ain't about nothing. But yet y'all invite him to a reparations conference? Across the way from a pedophile? Allegedly, according to Louis Farrakhan. These the type of people you want to claim to be your leaders? No, thank you. I don't want to be a part of none of that. I don't. A lot of these people putting on a show just to entertain you. And you know what our people do? Because, and it's not funny, but we gravitate towards the arts and entertainment. So yeah, we want to be entertained. You want to hear people talk about other people in a funny way. Laugh or joke. That's it. But then you turn right around and, but we need a change. We not getting treated right. Blah, 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 blah. Like, for example, right? They talking about doing all this marching, but okay, go back a little bit, just a little bit. When Black Lives Matter came out and they were doing more than just marching, what were they doing? Vandalizing. You saw a whole bunch of white people out there doing some stupid stuff, burning stuff down. But what changed? Tell me one law. One. I dare you. I dare you. Tell me one law. Matter of fact, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out. It wasn't for so-called black folk. What came out, y'all? What came out, y'all? What law changed for a group of people that ain't had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter? I'll wait. I'm looking in the chat. Asians. Okay. We getting there. Close. What was their little campaign? The Asian crime bill, right? Hold on, y'all. Listen. Nah, yeah, the gay marriages too. Yeah, they got their rights too. The LGBTQ, they got their rights quick. You had 2 incidents that happened to Chinese people. They brought that thing to the government. They passed the Asian crime bill quick. But yet you still 2022 talking about reparations. How? See that? Meanwhile, everybody eating, but you starving. How? How does this make sense? How does this make sense, y'all? It don't. So that exposes what these people are doing. I said to myself, I won't ever be like that. I'm definitely gonna do my thing for my people. And I'm gonna do it the way I see fit. I don't gotta join no company, I don't gotta join no campaign, no organization, nope. I don't gotta go down Washington and march. Martin Luther King did that. I don't got to march. I don't got to showboat in front of cameras and the media to get attention or 15 minutes of fame, clout chasing. I don't got to do that. We shouldn't have to do that. You know what would get us more than just 15 minutes of fame? Us doing us. You don't think that will be on the front page article, news art? Listen, we start by a whole group of us. 13% of us buy a whole bunch of land. And just imagine this, 13% of our people buy a bunch of land. I use the 13% because I rub that back in their face. They try to say that we 13% of the population in America. I rub it back in their face. That's why I say 13%. But if we just take because they know that we're the majority. I already went over this. But if we just take 13% of our people, and all right, well, since they don't want to change no laws and give us our land back right now, 13% of our people buy land, every state. We could create towns, cities, states. We put that up under our own nation, governed by our own government, established up under our rules. What they gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're gonna put that on the news. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they now do not want to be called African Americans. The Niji have actually established their own countries, towns, and cities, and the government wants to work with them, offering them this and offering. They're gonna be coming with their hands out like, no, don't go, don't go. They're gonna be scared. Like, hold up, they got their act together. They're gonna be wanting us. Dang, we did this before. Yeah, but we got the internet now. Yeah, they snuck up on our people back then and started having the machine guns and started dropping bombs on our people and stuff like that. But we got the internet now. Somebody can quickly just throw up their phone and hit record. Oh, look, y'all, the police here with guns. They mad because we got our own town. They out of line. They don't want that type of publicity. As a matter of fact, when we establish our own nations, by that time, we could establish our own police departments. They don't even got to be a part of FOP. We could create our own. And I mean that. There's no law stating that we cannot do this, guys. If we're the #1 consumer in the nation, what makes you think that we can't be #1 in everything else? Ownership is what we need to be #1 in. And I don't mean 1%. This is that simple. And I swear to God, name a person right now that's saying that. Name one. Just one, y'all. Just one. Pick a politician. Pick a mayor. Pick somebody that's running for Congress. Somebody. YouTuber. Ooh. Name them. Name them. Who talking like that? This is the conversation we need to have. This is what we need to do. But you don't never talk about solutions. You always want to talk about the problem. Are you not listening? Are you not listening? I say this all the time. I gotta say it in different ways, but I'm saying the same thing. Once again, that's okay. I created a 13% server. Everybody up in there connected. Sooner or later, I'm not even gonna state what's gonna happen, but sooner or later, you about to see something major. In more than one way. Rest in peace to Coolio. Rest in peace to Coolio. But that ain't it. I had plans. It ain't over. It ain't over. I like the people that's encouraging people to establish their own businesses. I like the people that's out there doing that. I like the people that's encouraging our people to establish their own businesses. That's the key. Getting their credit together. So you can start your business credit. You got to have your personal credit together first. I mean, that's how I go right now. That's how I go. I mean, because once we start having our own nation, we could create our own little credit bureaus. We could do it all. We could, I'm telling you, literally start from scratch. We could do, it's endless. We could do whatever we want. The possibilities is endless. There's no law stating that we can't do this. And look, and the government don't got to feel threatening. I mean, you want to tag along, you're going to have to pay for it. We know we the majority. Keep that in mind, y'all. A couple of videos ago, I showed you that they're a dying breed. They know that they're becoming they are the minority right now. They know that. This is the reason why they're trying to hurry up and get rid of everybody with, you name it. Whether if it's in the water, it's in the flies, it's in the sky, it's in your neck, your arm, reading between the lines. And it's not all white folks doing that. It's the ones that's up, you know, they want to claim that they elite, but they not elite. Ain't nothing elite about them. They on a thin rug. And well, I mean, see, all our people got to do is recognize where that rug at so we can pull it from right up under their feet. That's it. It's that simple. They're going to scatter like roaches. There's too many of us. There's too little of them. And actually, that's been that way from the jump. From the jump. And that's another reason why I was telling you about it when it comes to history. How many white folks did it take to capture, to allegedly capture people from West Africa? And then how many white folks did it take to take those same captured, so-called captured West Africans and bring them to a totally different landmass? Again. So you intrude in one place, I mean one continent, and then intrude in another continent. And you from Europe. That don't make no goddamn sense. You from I don't care what story you pick. You from Eurasia. How many white folks did it take to colonize 2 continents? It ain't enough for them. And I gave you the hint of how the census snitched and said free whites. They wouldn't have said free whites if they weren't enslaved before in their motherland. Free whites. They came over here. They called this the New World because it was new to them. But they are the slaves. And they still that way right now. Right now. It's not that many of them. Remember when I told you that the U.S. incorporated as a quasi-corporation, meaning that they acting as if they are a corporation, but they're not? It's a gimmick. They always been acting as if, but they're not. The Slavs, the Celtics, and the douche, the Dutch was the douche. Yeah, man. Wells, all these people, see, and don't forget, that it was people that looked like you and I from those areas. Europe wasn't full of so-called pale faces. So you know they had help. Oh man, that person gotta be from Africa because they look like us. Don't get it twisted. All skin folk and kinfolk. And just because we look similar don't mean we all came from Africa. Because you know how silly that sounds? You're trying to say that Africa populated all other continents. That don't make sense. Where's the documentation of that? Oh, wait, that's a theory, remember? That has never been proven? That's a theory. Yeah, orphans, squatters, peasants, scavengers. Another word for that is fella. Fella. Don't forget this. Another word for peasant is fella. Stop calling yourself a fella. All right, y'all fellas out there, don't do that. Don't do it. Fella is a peasant. Look, y'all, and that's Arabic. And that's Arabic. Fella. And it's spelled the exact same way, y'all. Be careful with the spells of the English language. It's spelled the exact same way. Nah, but they got an H in that, Dane. All right, well, how else do you pronounce Well, I mean, but you say it Okay, well, how you spell it? It could be A, It could be A-H. Okay, stop right there. You know why? Because it doesn't matter how you spell it, it's how you say it. It's how it's said. We went over this also. A fella is a peasant. I'll go in depth with that in another video. It's a whole lot of stuff that we getting taught that was wrong. But yeah, we let this person is an immigrant. So that means that, and I'm talking about Melville Huskovich right here on the screen. He had to get taught by somebody else about history. Just like we did. Because why? We ain't even asked our parents. Because we were told to go to school and learn. We couldn't ask no questions until the end of the lesson. And by the time the end of the lesson came, we forgot our question. 2 hours later, the teacher go, any questions? We quiet. Man, I'm tired. I want to go home. By that time, you don't want to ask no questions. That's purposely done. That's purposely done. How are you going to learn if you don't ask questions? Remember, I started off this video saying, the quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. Don't forget that. The quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. You have to question everything. You don't like it? Oh well, neither did I. Get over it. When I say we were lied about everything, they lied to us about everything, I mean it. They lied to us about everything, but it's your job to ask the right questions. For example, if you're the prayers that you do, instead of, okay, how can I explain that? Let me get the words to say right now. Yeah, they let them work on me on that. You ask the right questions to see what you haven't seen before. Let me stop right there. Because I know I could just hear my wife in my ear saying, don't go too far. I could just hear it. I'm gonna stop right there. Because it would get spiritual, and I know a lot of folks ain't ready for that. They not. But that's what this, remember a person told you, somebody told you this was spiritual warfare. But that's in and out. That's a spiritual warfare in your inner self and your outer shell. That's what they attacked. That's what the attack is on. The attack is on you. It's on you. Because it's your whole, it goes even beyond your genetic makeup. It's everything about you spiritually. I mean, think about it. How can you bring a spiritual person? Okay, no. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just say, yes, spiritual warfare. That doesn't matter your religious belief. That's all of y'all included. That's everybody included. Spiritual warfare. It doesn't matter your whatever denomination of Christianity you subscribe to or outside of it. Even if you atheist. How about that? Still spiritual warfare. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna continue this because even though this is a little old for my channel, I explained to you who was responsible. Who is responsible for telling us these lies. And then it's streamlined because of this, because of him right here. I'm trying to use my words wisely because I'm about to, I can't stand this fool. And him and his buddy. And you're gonna know who his buddy is.
Before becoming a teenager, the family moved to El Paso, Texas in 1905. Then soon after his mother abruptly passed away from a mysterious illness, Melville and his father moved to Erie, Pennsylvania, where Melville later graduated from Erie Senior High School in 1912. Melville began his college studies at the University of Cincinnati, while simultaneously taking rabbinical studies at the Hebrew Union College, Cincinnati campus, as traditionally suggested by his family, being as though the college is a Jewish institution of religion. When
Hebrew Union College, a Jewish institution. Hebrew Union College, a Jewish institution. I'm about to word this correctly. What we were taught in America about Hebrew consisted of two, well, hold up. See, some of this stuff is sensitive to people. And I know certain people are like, but don't worry about it, Dane, just say it. This is nothing against Hebrew. It's just certain things have been manipulated. And a lot of our people adapted it, or adapted their culture and their particular culture of Hebrew, not knowing that that wasn't what we subscribe to. You know, you got multiple different types of Jewish people, and then you got multiple different types of Jewish beliefs. Okay, I can leave it like that. Everybody has their own way of going, you know, about their beliefs. The Hebrew that was taught here in America was an admixture of Christianity and Judaism. Wentworth Arthur Matthew was the master teacher. 1919. He mixed Christianity with Judaism. Obviously, he tried to get accepted by particular Jewish people, and they said no. Twice they said no, based off of his belief or what he was trying to go about, you know, teaching his doctrine the way he wanted it to be. Wentworth Arthur Matthew, 1919. He was the first, and matter of fact, in New York, he was the first person to establish a I wouldn't even call it an organization. He established a, let me just, for lack of better words, let me just say church. He started the first one for the so-called black people in New York. First one. By the way, this was during the same time where you may have heard this guy named Timothy Drew. Some people may know him as Noble Jew Ali, where he developed his doctrine of Moorish science. Wentworth Arthur Matthew was working side by side with him. And they were both very close with Farag Muhammad, the guy that started the ATI, which was before the NOI and all the rest of them, which is the Nation of Islam. Farag Muhammad was a foreigner. There was an infiltration that happened during that time period with our people. Keep in mind, when I said 1919, notice how that was prior to the Black Wall Streets going down, the so-called Black Wall Streets, Negro Wall Streets, actually. Booker T. Washington said that, Negro Wall Street. So that was a few years before it happened. A lot of infiltration was going on at that time, y'all. A lot. Because we were prospering, our people, at that time. The government sent in agents. You could put two and two together right here. Because once again, me and my wife are going to go over this stuff in full detail, but I just gave you some big hints. These folks are not your friends. They are your enemies. But yeah, and they, once again, they use religion because keep in mind, back in the past, I told you, Congregation for Propagating the Gospel by Foreign Parts were the missionaries sent by who? King James. They used religion against our people to stop us from revolting, rebelling. They did the same thing later on. That's the way, that's their form of indoctrination. Before schools, it was what? Sunday schools. As a matter of fact, the Sunday school was a classroom setting, the very first classroom setting prior to the classroom settings that we see now in public and private and charter schools. It was always religion. that had control over our people's mindsets. I'm not up here bashing a person's belief. Keep that in mind. I'm not your enemy. I'm your Niji. I'm your fellow brother. I'm not your friend. Remember I told you about friend. A friend is what? A Quaker. That's where the term friend came from. It means Quaker. Once again, going back to religion, our ancestors were not Quakers. I'm talking about the definition of friend. You heard me. It's a Quaker. Fiend is an enemy of the Quakers. Society of Friends. Yep. I'm not making this up. But these are the things that we're not saying, we're not talking. I don't have to pull out the Bible and point to a scripture. I don't have to decode the Bible to know the truth, even though there is truth in it. Don't get me wrong. But you got to find out what the agenda was behind it. Why did King James slap his name on there? Why did he take out 66 books? What was the point in that? These are the type of questions. Remember, the quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. Ask those type of questions. To who you pray to. Write them down if you have to. You know how many, that's a lot of books. Yeah, Levante, he did take out more than that. But those main key 66, I was like, You revamped it for what? What was your agenda? And look, then he came out with 2 versions. English, guess what, y'all? The second one was what? Hebrew. The Hebrew Union College. To go right back to what we watching right now. It was going on for the King James Version. Right now. Still to this day. But now y'all know King James was black. And we gotta learn from him. Learn from him. Okay. There you go again, listening to your enemies. There you go. They said your enemies wrote your history. You say the Bible is a history book. Uh-oh. Put 2 and 2 together. Is that the right version you reading? It ain't got nothing to do with your God. I'm talking about who did that Bible. He had an agenda, not God. You heard what I said. Don't misinterpret my words. That's another reason why I be having music playing. Not for you to chop it up and try to make it seem like I'm saying something I'm not. You heard exactly what I said. This ain't got nothing to do with God. I'm talking about the agenda behind King James. Because he was our enemy. Remember I said they came with flowers and the gun was in their back pocket so they could get friendly with you? Come on, y'all ahead. Come on, let's gather up and worship this scripture right here. They gave us specific instructions that we have to follow by. We gotta kill you because it says so. You sure that God did that or did he do that? Or did he do that? No, Deuteronomy. No, it's about us. Okay, it is. But who was he instructing? And look, what's crazy is that same agenda is in the Hebrew version. Taking a lot of stuff that he thought he learned and flipped it to his liking. That's what the losers will do. They may pretend like they won. Especially if you ain't see the war. Because it's spiritual. Ooh, they make pretend like, see how they work with me? They make pretend like they won. Because you didn't see the war, because it was spiritual. That's why it's important. But back to Melville Huskovich, he learned that studied at the Hebrew Union College, a Jewish institution. We'll go back.
Hebrew Union College, Cincinnati campus, as traditionally suggested by his family, being as though the college is a Jewish institution of religion. When the United States involved themselves in the conflict known as World War I on July 28, 1914, history loves to state that Melville allegedly quelled his studies to enlist in the, quote, Army's Medical Corps and headed off to Europe. Now, keep in mind that his mother was from Germany and his father from Hungary, in which both places, including Bulgaria and the Ottoman Empire, fought against Russia, Italy, France, Japan, Romania, Great Britain, and of course the United States. What's very noteworthy here is which side of the conflict Melville allegedly subscribed to, because there is no actual records of him enrolling in the United States Army in the first place. Yeah, and I'm just getting started here. Now, when he returned to North America, Melville transferred to the University of Chicago at a time where anthropology was heavily influenced by the deceitful hidden agendas of industrialism, along with political European colonialism, where pseudoscientific theories were not only praised by one particular group of people.
Hold on, because I don't want this picture to go past. Who's that right here, y'all? Can y'all see my, hold on, let me go to the second page. Who's that? Who's this guy right here? Charles Mason was the president. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. Was the president of the University of Chicago and also the president of the Rockefeller Foundation. But who's this? I'm looking in the chat. Nah, that's not JP Morgan. JP Morgan is heavyset. I know, right? That ain't Hitler. What president? It's a president. Nah. Nah. And by the way, I told throughout my entire span of being on YouTube, I told you that the University of Chicago was enlisted by President Woodrow Wilson the Rockefellers, John D. Rockefeller, excuse me, not the Rockefellers, John D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, and J.P. Morgan, the University of Chicago was indefinitely involved with creating the educational system, forced schooling. They funded it. As far as the Rockefellers are concerned, funded the University of Chicago. And keep in mind, the president is right here, Charles Mason. So I just told you who this guy right here was, didn't I? Didn't I? Who that right there? Okay. Now, when I tell you that people are involved, when I tell you that people are involved in the government to make sure that they establish a plan to work against you, I'm talking about this era right here. This era right here. Notice he was born in 1877, died 1961. This era right here, late 1800s. Remember when I told you when white supremacy started? Because the first thing they established was to decimate your literacy. Was 1890. It ain't that long ago now. All this add up. All of it. That's why I do all the constant reminders to let you know how every single video I put out correlate. Because I can put it all in one video, but I gotta break it down bit by bit by bit so people can fully understand where I'm coming from. These are your enemies. And then there's a particular guy right here, right beside Charles, that you about to see who this is. This is when he was young, right here. You about to see who this is, and you gonna recognize his face right away. Trust me. I'm about to tell you who that is. But yeah, the president up there chilling. Let's go, fellas. You know, they were called the top hats. I know certain people call them small hats now, but they were called the top hats. Big top hats back then. They wore the, yeah, I'm glad somebody said Lincoln. Remember how Lincoln used to wear that big tall top hat? So did Wilson. Who was that before him? It was a couple of presidents that did that. Basically, it started in the 1860s on up, where they all wore them big top hats. Roosevelt. Yeah, but they call them small hats now. Yeah, the big black top hat. Yeah, that's a symbol. I'm gonna get into that. Oh, somebody said Freemasons. Somebody said it. But I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get more depth than that. Honest Abe. Now, okay, now Abraham Lincoln, they lied to us about Abraham Lincoln, and I had proof on that. Even his right-hand man wrote a book about it, and I'm not trying to give it all away right now until I have it right in front of me and can show you with proof and evidence. But yeah, it's some things that was true, and it's a lot of things that was a lie. And it's the reason why they have him on a penny facing the opposite way. And they try to make it seem like, it's because he did a disservice to his own kind. No, he just was against separating. Okay, let me not give it away right now, because then you're gonna be like, what? But it's deeper than what you think. And he is not who they say he is. And I mean the person. That's not him. Now I remember, see, I don't want to get into that. Let me leave that. Let me push that to the side. Okay. I'm gonna get into Lincoln in another, in another video. Cause I had to do extensive research on him to actually find out who is that guy. But and I'm gonna put that out. I might even make it a book first. But we'll see. But yeah, what I have ain't on the internet. I can tell you that right now. What I have is not on the internet. And it will blow your mind. You gonna be like, no, they didn't. I'm gonna be like, yes, they did. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that. I can say this: the person that they showing us ain't him. And I got proof. And I know who that is. I'll say that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep going. But keep in mind of this guy right here. University of Chicago.
Heavily influenced by the deceitful hidden agendas of industrialism, along with political European colonialism, where pseudoscientific theories were not only praised by one particular group of people, but justified
I'm gonna be
for
careful.
its subjugation of all non-white people. Before World War I began.
Oh, I stated this in my video from February 2017. You know this, Joe. Oh, YouTube removed this video.
In a speech directed to accredited businessmen, President Woodrow Wilson stated that henceforth public policy will be geared to providing a public education tailored to producing industrial workers who did not question orders and were skilled in only basic manual labors, and that a liberal education will be reserved for only for a small elite. By the early 1900s, American industrialists recognized that compulsory public education was the most useful means to socially engineer the American population to suit the purposes of industrial capitalism. Local networks of corporate foundations, university education and psychological departments, educational accrediting boards, and governmental agencies arose to oversee the implementation of the blueprint for this ambitious but yet so devastatingly evil social engineering project.
Talk to 'em.
These entities included organizations such as the Rockefeller Foundation, the Carnegie Foundation, the Columbia Teachers College, the University of Chicago, the National Training Labs, the National Education Association, and the U.S. Office of Education, now known as the Department of Education. Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, and Henry Ford were the key contributors and introductional architects of this American educational system of forced schooling. According to Lee D. Baker, an author and a cultural anthropologist out of Duke University, he admitted that the 19th century physical anthropologists drew specious correlations between anatomical features and supposed behavioral traits of the various races. So in other words, these immigrants of Jewish or other European or African descent of the 19th...
Ooh, hold on, I forgot this part. Oh man, these people.
In other words, these immigrants of Jewish or other European or African descent of the 19th century, or rather the 1800s, purposely created and cultivated the science of anthropology with highly regarded racial discriminatory, very identical to the pseudoscientific concepts designed and utilized by Francis Galton that he called eugenics, right along with his predecessor, Charles Darwin, with his theory of evolution and natural selection, in which I mentioned more about this on my documentary called What's the Real Identity of an African American? I highly recommend that you watch that video as well. Now, getting back to Melville, he abruptly halted his studies at the Hebrew Union.
Wait. The quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. How does a Jewish immigrant know all about African history?
He abruptly halted his studies at the Hebrew Union College and then moved on to complete his graduate studies at Columbia University.
At Columbia?
What's very important to note here is while working on his master's and PhD, Melville found himself under the guidance of his professor named Franz Boas, a German immigrant from Minden, Germany.
Hold on.
Who migrated.
Hold on. This is their master teacher. I know I went over this guy multiple times, but if you don't know, if you're brand new to my channel, this is the master teacher for them. This is their master teacher right here. Franz Boas from Minden, Germany, right here. In fact, that is the guy that was in that picture where you saw Woodrow Wilson and I put Charles Mason in front of. That was him to the left with the glasses on. You're going to see him in his younger. I'm going to show you that. How the hell he know about? Just watch.
His master's and PhD, Melville found himself under the guidance of his professor named Franz Boas,
Professor,
a German immigrant from Minden, Germany, who migrated to North America during the year of 1887. Franz Yuri Boas was considered to be the sole author of American anthropology. In fact, he was dubbed as the grandfather of American anthropology by his self-proclaimed significant student.
Hold on, y'all. I want y'all to notice something. Who was the character that they gave us that they tried to say was a mad scientist that actually looked like this? Who was that? That actually looked like this individual. Mad scientist. Look just like this. Albert Einstein. Woo! Oh my goodness,
Set it
man.
on fire. Fire.
Listen. Look. Look. Albert Einstein. That look just like him though. Ain't that crazy? He go from that to that. That's him. That to that. Look at the beard. Look at the ears. The same ears. Look, beard, nose. He went from this to this. What happened? I'm not trying to be, don't. Something wrong. Something happened. Was it distress? He was looking old right here. Then he looked like he about to die right here.
Self-proclaimed significant students, with Melville being one of them. As a professor of anthropology at Columbia University beginning in 1899, France heavily influenced many prominent people that we know of today, all the way up until his death on December 21st, 1942. And some of whom...
So don't forget that he died in the 1940s.
There's the same hue of complexion as you and I. France had his own hidden agenda, but history loves to paint the picture as if it was done for the better good.
Yeah, it do look like he had a stroke.
It was designed to upkeep the continuation of manipulative indoctrination. For example, France promoted an idea that Negroes residing in America are all somehow descendants of Africans in Africa, based solely on the fact that we all share the same hue of complexion. And that's it, meaning that's all of the evidence he had. Now keep in mind that this was the first time ever in history where people overheard rumors that Negroes are somehow Africans now.
That's him and his two sons right here. So he could have had a stroke.
Then the Harvard-taught sociologist and one of the co-founders of the NAACP and the first...
By the way, NAACP was co-founded by pale faces. Also,
so-called person of color to even earn a doctorate at this time, named W.E.B. Du Bois, took this fictitious idea to new heights, being as though he was considered to be a person of color, providing another side of social engineering influence amongst people that shared his same hue of complexion. In fact, Franz Boas influenced W.E.B. Du Bois in his teachings.
You see the picture?
Even while being a professor of sociology, economics, and history at Atlanta University. France taught and told Melville her scope.
Hold on. What'd that say right there? Franz Boas, right? So he wrote
Melville Herskovich, along with his other students, and even W.E.B. Du Bois, what to do and what not to do by sending private letters back and forth.
Look, think I'm playing? We are at the present time carrying through an investigation on the significance of intelligence testing among Negroes. The purpose is to investigate a community in detail in regard to its social background and to prepare tests accordingly so as to be able to correlate social environment and what psychologists please to call intelligence. They're trying to gather information, seeing what's going to work, what doesn't work. I wonder why. Later on, we are intending to cross the test and use what is found suitable in the Negro community among our city children. The study is being carried on at the present time, but will not be finished until at least a year from now. What were they doing? My wife and I are gonna go deep into this, y'all. All right. I got all the letters. Yeah. He was telling him what to do. Telling this traitor what to do. And he was listening and obeying. Oh, yes, master. I'll do anything you say, master. What you want me to do, master? What you want me to tell the Negroes, master?
University. France taught and told Melville Herskovich, along with his other students, and even W.E.B. Du Bois, what to do and what not to do by sending private letters back and forth throughout the years of the early 1900s. Then soon after his fictitious idea transitioned into a plan, it was later implemented into U.S. history books systematically. But of course, France had assistance, and the majority of this assistance is credited to Melville, being as though he began to create the anthropometric studies of the so-called African Americans, while simultaneously releasing science fictional and general fictional books, like for example, The Cattle Complex in East Africa in 1926. This science of anthropology dramatically changed once Melville introduced his out of Africa theory, during a time when biological theory still prevailed in anthropology during the late 1920s, in which the underlying belief was that so-called blacks were genetically inferior to whites. Now, in order to draw all of the credit and attention to his own work for possible federal funding, Melville mysteriously but yet purposely had a falling out with W.E.B. Du Bois and began to state that Du Bois's work is inaccurate and filled with propaganda, sabotaging Du Bois's, quote, Encyclopedia Africana project by
Again.
federal funding. Melville mysteriously but yet purposely had a falling out with W.E.B. Du Bois and began to state that Du Bois's work is inaccurate and filled with propaganda, sabotaging Du Bois's, quote, Encyclopedia Africana project by burning its credibility straight to the ground. Hold
on.
Encyclopedia Africana project.
Africana. Doesn't that sound familiar? Africana. Wait a minute. Remember when I was telling you about sounds? He spelled it differently. Afrikaner. Afrikaans. Wait, was he talking about us or them? This how deep it get. Once again, my wife and I about to go in even deeper. This is old. This about, I don't know how, this is old. 2018, 17, whatever. I don't know. This is old. But Encyclopedia Africana. So he was the first to establish, or publish rather, an encyclopedia on it. Keep in mind, where did he get that information from? Where did he get it from? Did he just go back there and make it up anyway? Where did he get that from? What is this based on? What evidence? Was it ever presented? Oh no, we gotta take their word for it based off of the credibility. Excuse me. Based off of people's perception, based off of the public's perception. So whatever pieces he put together created a puzzle. And our people were supposed to subscribe to that? Oh, just because he was a so-called person of color. He earned the doctrine, y'all. He the first one to earn the doctrine. He know what he talking about. Nah, this boy smart, man. He done went up the ranks. He done got his doctrine degree. It doesn't matter what degree you have. That don't make you intelligent. That just goes to show you what type of great worker you have become in this industrialized society. Keep in mind, it's an institution. A school is. A school is an institution. Institutions are used in the industry. This was an industrial capitalist society. To what degree are you a great worker? Are you a great laborer? Are you a great slave? To what degree? That's right. Jaquan said a degree is only a percentage. Jack said degree could also mean indoctrination compulsory universities. How well, Kingmaker, how well means you can follow instructions. So how well can you follow instructions? That's right, free thinking institution focused only on revenue. But once Melville wanted to get funding from the federal government in order to expand his beliefs, he had to get rid of who? The only one that was basically in competition in a way, which was WEB. So again, this out of Africa theory came from not WEB. It came directly from a foreigner. Directly. His teacher, his master teacher. And don't let nobody even tell you any different. Once again, I'm going to go in further detail with this, but I just showed you one letter that I have of them going back and forth trying to create a plan to, oh, let's test this on the Negroes and see how intelligent it was about them gathering information, intelligence, gathering information. Let's see if this will work. Let's test it out. Let's see how they will react. What happens? Report back to us, spy. Let us know what's going on. And it's quite odd because he was also doing the exact same thing when the Negro Wall Streets were prospering. Him and Booker T. Washington had to go check and see what was going on, how were they prospering, and report it back to somebody. The same way Christopher Columbus, right, had to report it back to Queen Isabel. He wasn't an explorer. Well, I mean, unless you want to claim that he was just looking. Yeah, I mean, he was looking. He was spying. He's an informant. Like when you think about the CIA, that's Central Intelligence Agency. So they have to gather information by exploring or spying or send informants out to gather the intelligence or information. He was an informant. And you can see that by way of the letter, working for a foreigner. So you're going to make up an excuse for this guy because of what? His credentials? But this goes to show you that you can't just blame the white man because a so-called black man agreed to do it. Isn't it quite odd that he was the first one to earn a doctrine? Something's wrong here. And remember, he was the professor at Clark Atlanta, so the HBCU stuff is out the window. It's still being ran by so-called white folk. Historically black. Well, we got to donate to them, to the historically black, so we can get the best education. Really? Really? Oh, so you giving it to the, are you giving it to the students or the white folks that own it? That goes for each and every HBCU. Each one. But nah, but it's a black man on the board, Dane. Doing what? Changing rules? Or following along to the rules? With the rules? That's right, Golden Jaguar, the Greek fraternity gatekeepers. Watch. Ooh, I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm glad you pointed that out, Golden. I cannot wait until I show you guys this new stuff that my wife and I is gonna put out. I can't. I'm sicing it because I know it's good. I don't know if y'all know what sice is. I'm from DC. So we be, you know, sice them up is like a hype up. That's why I'm hyping it up. Just in case you don't understand where I'm coming from, that is a DC slang. But yeah. And by the way, yeah, I'm from DC. And my grandmother made sure that I got both sides of the story. I went to the hood schools and I went to the so-called best schools in DC, where I was side by side with white people and other foreigners. And this is how I know that we all got taught the exact same thing. Because once again, earlier in this video, I told you that Woodrow Wilson made sure that the liberal education was reserved for only a small elite, 1%. 1%, that was his own words. In this video, I didn't give you the quote. I know I gave the quote in a different video that came after this. But yeah, I mean, you could look that up. You'll be able to see that that came out of his own mouth. He reserved the liberal education for only 1% of the people. And he stated that. So that means 1% of the people got taught the truth and everybody else got taught jibber jabber, whatever you want to call it. Indoctrination is what I like to call it. But you can't ask no questions about that information. And that's sad because they don't want you to challenge the stuff that they tell you that you should know about or learn about. But they don't want you to challenge it or question it. You just better know. No. This is what you got to learn. And the majority of that stuff, you can't even take with you right now in real life and earn revenue. To go back to what, I forgot who said that. But to go back to what that person said in the chat. There's people out there right now that probably got a doctrine that's fighting to get some revenue. Right now. Right now. Now don't try to blame it on the little situation they tried to put out there. I can't even say the words, man. I'm sick of that. The COVID. I'm gonna say it anyway. Don't blame it on that. That's been gone. Nah, you got to prove to them again how well you will take instructions. How well can you adjust? Remember they do the little questionnaires for jobs and get all these questions, right? But they gathering intelligence on a person to see if this person will be a great worker to fit in, to see would they be willing to be subjugated to just the lower class without even expanding upon, in some cases they let you expand, maybe, supervisor, manager. But very rarely do you be able to become a general manager, regional manager, et cetera, where you can't come up. They keep you at a particular level. And they make sure that they're not paying you the exact same thing that they're paying so-called white folks or even foreigners. So when I say white, I'm referring to foreigners because it's not just Caucasians that are considered white. That's all foreigners. Because that's a classification. That's not a skin complexion. The reason why I said a political construct is because it was constructed to determine who's first class. Yeah, you could take a plane for example. Man, ain't that messed up? I thought Rosa Parks fought for people to sit anywhere on a bus, but when you go on a plane, man, why they gotta set up like that? Like they get the people up front get treated better than the people in the back. It's always been like that. That's why they changed the Mercator world map to make it look like Europe at the top and everybody else in the back or at the bottom. Pyramid schemes, right? The best is at the top, everybody else at the bottom. But there are gatekeepers right there. Because what if you put a ladder on that pyramid and try to climb or work your way up, climb up? But they got the people right there stopping you. So you won't make it past a certain level. These are the people we got to eliminate. But you better stop worshiping people like WEB because, like, you can clearly see. But I'm really going to let you know in another video. But I mean, this was me just scratching the surface right here. This was all done by design, and our people allowed it. Allowed it. They couldn't have did this on their own, y'all. These white folks and y'all holding them up all sky high, and they couldn't even help their own people like that. So it's not just the white man, it's all of them. There's no skin complexion when it comes to an enemy. A skin complexion does not exist. An enemy, when it comes to an enemy is an enemy. I'm gonna say this again. A skin complexion does not exist when it comes to an enemy, because an enemy is an enemy. It doesn't matter. This guy right there on the screen is your enemy. Let's zoom in. Right there. Your enemy. Told you the bull crap. Made sure it got streamlined. And well, he wasn't the only one that made sure that it got streamlined. Of course not. But I mean, he helped him. He basically added his stamp to it and said, yeah, come on, y'all, let's help him. Yeah, come on, we're going to do this. And why? What you get out of it? WEB, what you get? I was able to take care of my family. And you know what certain people would do? Well, I mean, how can I blame him? I mean, he had to take care of his family. He had a doctrine. He couldn't go do nothing else. So he had to betray his whole race just to take care of his family. But yeah, y'all want to knock down people that be snitching. But what about the people that be betraying? I don't understand that. What's up with that narrative? Something wrong with that. These the people that we should be calling out. But again, yep, I mean, you want reparations, you know. This is the reason why I said you can't trust everybody. That everything that look good ain't good. You can't trust everybody out there claiming they doing this for our people. Can't do it. You got to look at their agenda. You got to see exactly who they are for who they are. There's only one way for you to do that. Don't fall for the reverse psychology stuff. You really got to dig in and see what that person is about. I do my research. I stay who I am. I don't have a stage name. I didn't change my name. You see me with ups and downs. You see me when the short hair, long hair, big, small. You seen it all with me. What I got cut costs for? You know I have children. You seen my wife, heard her. What I gotta hide for? For what? This is about truth. This is about truth. It's about uplifting our people, bettering our people, getting to solutions and not just talking. But I do have to teach because we were taught lies. So yes, I have to do this. I was told to do this by my ancestors. I've been saying that. That's why I'm doing this. Am I a spiritual person? Yes, absolutely. Am I an atheist? No. You say an atheist don't believe there is a God. No, there is a creator. There is a creator. But it's up to us to not only recreate, procreate, you see where I'm going with this? It's up to us to do what we were put here to do. Everybody born here, change the world or do something, leave. Okay. What you doing to make a change right now before you leave? Before you go. I'm talking about before you leave. Literally, leave. Before you go. And, you know, what have you done? Are you going to leave a mark for our people? Are you going to do something where it embedders our next generations to come? This is about our children. You could put your feelings aside and, oh, I'm crying. I'm sick of that boy. That Dane don't know what he talking. Put all that aside. It's about our children. You got children? I got children. My children listen to me and my wife. We teach them the truth because those are the next generations to come. These type of curses can be broken. We can't just sit up there and be like, Deuteronomy, when that curse can be broken. How long do you think that curse is supposed to last? Does it tell you a time limit in the Bible? No. We can break it now. That's what this is about. So you could be biting your fingernails and, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow I'm gonna come out with a video. I'm gonna type this tweet. I don't care what you do. Because this ain't about you. This is about our next generations to come. Well, we gotta have generational wealth. We gotta have, yeah, I agree. But not just generational wealth. We gotta have it all. Because it's not fair that we, right here sitting in America, still arguing and bickering and fighting and fussing and debating, allegedly, discording about who we are. Nah, dang, we the real Hebrews. Nah, dang, we the Moors. No, dang, we the Indians. Nah, we Africans. We the only group. Only. Meanwhile, that's confusing our children, ain't it? Cancel that. Yep, generational knowledge. That's the key. That's the key. Generational love. There you go. Because if you love your children, that means you got to teach them about love. Set an example. Set an example. I'm just speaking in general. I ain't directing this at nobody. I'm just saying, set an example. Be the example. Knowledge is wealth. I agree. Latoya, yes. Yes, divine order. You can set that up. It ain't hard. That's right, Lewis. Spiritual freedom. Now, Lonnie, look. Spiritual freedom is this. Having control over your mind. You're not allowing a stranger to manipulate or infiltrate, penetrate, insert whatever they want to insert in there within a flash, and you ain't even know it. Because they brought you into transportation. And you didn't even know it. They do that in movies. They do that in videos. They do it in music. They do it even on the news stations. You know when they do it? Right when they flash that bright light at you and breaking news, everyone. We got such and such going on and blah, blah, blah. They put you in a trance to get you all worked up. Breaking news, everyone. Joe Biden just said blah, blah, blah. Right then and there, you ain't even know it. You locked in. Joe Biden, what happened? What? You ain't even know it. It can be easily dropped in. This is why it's so important. Remember, I told you it's spiritual warfare. It's very important to know who your enemy is and what they would do. The number one thing they're doing is taking control over your mind. Cancel that. We're not going to allow that no more. We're not going to allow it no more. Dane Calloway said it, you know. I straight up told you. Yeah, tell our vision. But what they doing is telling a vision to you. Since you couldn't make up one for your own. Oh no, but that person don't even got a vision for themselves. Here, let's give them one. Let's program channel 3, channel 4, and channel. And channel whatever we want to make it their vision. Channel whatever we want. It could be some darkness, it could be some light, it could be both. We're gonna channel all that in and mix it in between and program it into them. Make it interesting. Let's make it entertaining. Let's make sure it's on channel 4, channel 5, channel 6. They gonna do it all. They're like, you ain't watching TV no more? Let's put it in apps. Let's get Netflix. Let's get Hulu, YouTube. If you didn't know, YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. #2, next to who? Google. Search engine. Just like how I tell y'all not to trust Google when it comes to research, the #2 search engine is YouTube. This is why I tell you not to even trust me. I'm the type of brother that would tell you I dare you to research what I'm doing. Research my research and cross-reference that and come back and tell me what you find. I dare you. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I dare you. No. Not using your emotions. Nah, don't get, I ain't trying to listen to no light-skinned nigga. Nah, don't get all caught up in your feelings. You got to do some work now. If I got to do it, you got to do it. We all got to do it. Yeah, they controlling the algorithm. They controlling what you see. There's a movie on Netflix, by the way, that exposes just that. That exposes the algorithm. You would think that it's actually a computer when it's actually humans looking at what you're looking at through your camera and seeing how long you stay on that one post and you flip to another one. They right there, oh, he liked that, let's give him 3 more of those. And they just swipe and drag it so you can be right. I swear to God. You can look this up. I can't remember the name of that movie. But in fact, I'm gonna ask my wife. She may remember it and she may be listening. Hun, if you remember, you can type it in the chat or text me. I watched that, man. Look, I'm talking about human beings looking at you right on your cell phone. That's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's Google. Looking at you, watching all them posts. Literally, these people, this is not no actors. These were people that either work at Google or Instagram or used to, just left. And Twitter and the rest of them. I swear on I'm not playing. But yeah, they clicking and dragging. That's how they building up their algorithm. They got humans to do it. Calling them technicians and all the rest of this techie stuff. They just sitting up there being nosy looking at you. And by the way, your camera phone ain't just a front facing camera or back facing camera. Both cameras are 3D. I mean, not 3D, what's it called? 360. They can see everything in your surroundings. Everything. That's why I told you not to go to the bathroom with your phone. Don't have a television in your room. They can look at everything. They use televisions the same way they use cell phones. No cap. They can look at it at any time. Yeah, Snowden already put this out. And y'all seen that Putin gave Snowden his citizenship now. Now he a native of Russia. So is. And the Democrats probably mad. But yeah, they've been spying for a minute. But on top of that, we allowing these apps to do it. When we click on those permissions, we ain't reading them permissions. Whole time we just handed them our privacy. I'm guilty too. That's why I said we handed them our privacy. Like, God damn it, when we gonna come up with a law to stop them from that? I say we, the people. Because the government ain't gonna do nothing about that because they wanna be nosy. They gonna hire Facebook, Instagram, they gonna hire them. Hey, let me get the information y'all got. We need the intelligence. Just like WEB was sent to do. We could stop history from repeating itself. How? Bring it up. You got to be cognizant of what's going on and what happened back then. That's how we change it. That's how we stop it. That's why history is important. Man, history is hitting. You let history repeat itself and you don't know what happened for real in the past. You'll be SOL. God forbid that happen though. That's the reason why I'm here. So I can do my part. I'm just trying to do my part. I'm just trying to do my part. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Like I said, I'm gonna get better with that. I'm gonna be looking, and I did though, and I know I did that in the past couple live streams where I was shouting people out, and I'm gonna get better with that, y'all. Y'all know I don't live stream all the time, you know, but I'm gonna get better with it. I promise. That's one thing I am gonna do. But there are new videos on the way. Be on the lookout for that. It's no point in me keep going with this one right here, because I'm basically letting you know that WEB was the traitor. I could tell you straight up, and I'm pretty sure this video is on my channel if you need to check this out. But that's mainly what I wanted to show you, is who created the Out of Africa theory, why, and their agenda. And basically Melville Herskovic streamlined it, and it ended up becoming school curriculums in white schools. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna show you this. This is what I'm gonna show you. Before it got taught to us, it was taught to them. And then white folks taught us. How the hell? Wait a minute, what? Y'all from another, how the hell y'all know that? Because if you did research, the research will be out, not books. Because if you did research, the research will be out, not books. They had an agenda. So we got to have an agenda of our own. There's nothing wrong with that. We could create our own propaganda, but make sure that it's about embettering us, uplifting us, changing everything. Now, once again, we only need 13%. I'm gonna keep saying this. We don't need everybody. We only need 13% of our people. If you would like to join the server, the link is in the description. It should be. It should be in the description. I forgot how many people done joined already. I know it was over 2,000. But that the last time I checked, I haven't been in there yet. But just be on the lookout for that, because I have more things I gotta post to the channel members and Patreon members that's coming up. Me and my wife about to give y'all some behind the scenes stuff. Get ready, y'all. And then we're gonna start posting those videos that I was talking about. That's coming up. And yes, get ready. Get ready. Had them pen and paper. We back on it. We've been on it. We just needed to research some things. Sometimes it take time. Okay. Sometimes it take time. That's why I'm not here for the, you know what I'm saying, to be trying to get clout and all this other stuff and just talk trash on the internet and everything. That's not what I'm about. I'm actually about doing real work. That's the difference between me and a whole bunch of other people that's online. Everybody else online looking for the money. The majority of them. I'm online looking to teach people. Hey, you don't gotta believe me. I don't want you to. I want you to do your own research. I'm only one person, but I do got an army of ancestors with me, and we riding high. You understand me?
Set it on fire.
So I'm gonna give y'all a round of applause. Thank you so much.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
I may go live tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that. I'll probably go a little earlier or evening. Actually, a lot of people tell me evening, but I love y'all. Okay, y'all take care. Why though?
I'm just here to make you think.